is complaining a hobby?
Damn right it is.
And also, should Greg Cote receive servicing as soon as he arrives anywhere for anything?
Hell yeah.
Big star.
Thank you.
We have this song. What do we need to know about the song? Is this indeed the unretirement of the singing sports writer? Can people now wonder whether every Tuesday they might get a soup of the day, a back in my day, or a song? You never know which one you're going to get.
You never know.
Or more likely, you're just not going to get any of them.
That's exactly right. But there is always that possibility. This came to me. The genesis of this was Chris Cote not coming through for me with a back in my day idea. But with full credit to him, he post-produced this song and made it sound better than it was.
My dad plays music off of YouTube on a computer, holds his phone up, and tries to sing. So I was like, give me a dry version, and I'll put better music on it.
Is this the unretiring of the singing sports writer? He's not
going to answer that.
I think he can answer.
He doesn't want to make a commitment.
Right.
But where did this come from? You were moved by the spirit. This is not you being retired. The singing sports writer you told me was retired. I didn't think we were going to see him anymore. When's the last time we heard from the goddamn singing sports writer?
Well, is Floyd Mayweather unretired?
Exactly. That's a good point.
He's still very much retired. He came out and had a special event exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is.
That's right. This is
Thank you, Mike.
akin to an exhibition.
No, that's one of my favorite things that both Stugotz is doing it more now because Greg does it so much. Is yelling thank you at you for something that you're not grateful for.
Well, I got married 40 years ago. I haven't made a firm commitment since. Why commit? Could it be? It could. If this is well received and people enjoy the singing jingle, the parody jingle, then maybe I'll continue to do it. Who knows?
Maybe though.
You say that like you learned your lesson. Not making a firm commitment anymore.
I don't want to go there, Roy. I'm a happily married man so far.
Let's go ahead and play the holidays. Greg Cote's offering the listeners. He worked very hard. He cooked it up.
Might I say, there is never a situation in which I get confused between my wife's shoes and mine. So
it's flabbergasting.
That was just an interesting detail.
If they're on the wrong side of the closet, though, it's understandable.
Mike,
no.
Oh, come on. It's not like I'm wearing high heels. They're sneakers. All sneakers look alike.
Yeah, but there's I'm a size 12. My wife is a size 7 in women's shoes. There's quite a bit of difference.
Well,
I kind of feel like I'd know the second I'd put my foot into it.
Look, I was blessed to marry a woman with big feet. Okay, so her shoes next to mine look alike, and I didn't have any sneakers there, so sneakers that were hers, it turned out, on my side of the closet, which they were misplaced. By who? I don't know.
Mike,
maybe the cleaning people.
Thank you for bringing it back to this because I legitimately don't know what's more shocking here, but I find both things to be shocking. One, that Greg Cote, a man that as of recently was riding bikes and doing some walking and playing some tennis. It wasn't that long ago. Greg Cote is announcing flatly he doesn't own tennis shoes. That's shocking enough. But having the knowledge that you don't own tennis shoes, looking into a closet and seeing tennis shoes, and not discerning those are not my tennis shoes, those are my wife's tennis shoes, I don't know which one of those two things is more shocking. That he doesn't have tennis shoes or that he doesn't know that he has tennis shoes if you drop a pair of tennis shoes in his closet.
I think he's full of shit and he knew they were my mom's shoes.
No, I didn't. It just pointed out that the shoes I was wearing happened to have a little pink ribbon on them. And I'm thinking to myself, I support breast cancer awareness.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Why can't a man wear a pink ribbon?
How do you not
Did you ever put those ribbons on the sneakers?
That wasn't why. It was the point of the shoe was more round. Like women's shoes are more round at the point.
I didn't know that.
She wasn't just doing it based off the color pink.
How do you feel when you put them on and they're clearly too small?
Yeah, they were very snug when I put them on. I thought they would breathe. I thought the shoe would breathe, but it was the toenail that really got me because my left shoe was much more sore than my right shoe. The toenail, the great toenail, has not recovered to this day, and this has only been a few days, but very tender to the touch, the toenail.
Stugotz he clipped it too close?
No, he clipped the right great toenail.
I clipped the other one, yeah.
It's the left one that's elongated right now. It needs cutting. I will cut it.
Let's go.
You will,
Needs
huh?
cutting. Yeah, it's time. It's time.
When do you plan on getting around to that?
This is
Who knows?
This is just,
Can't commit.
This really is an hour that's been filled with news, is it not? Because
He's gonna cut his toenail.
I need to, before we get to the song, I do need to stop for a moment and have the audience acknowledge and understand how rare and reluctant Greg Cote is to make the admission publicly or privately. You know what? I probably do need to groom this. It's finally gotten to a place of horror because I've got a rotten yellow tortoise shell wrapped around my great toe.
Right.
And it's gotten to the point where it's pinching me, and it's got jagged edges, and it's
Right.
armor, and it's hard as metal, and I need to cut it.
Well, the realization is something's got to give, something's got to go, either the women's sneakers or my left great toenail. Something's got to go.
Let's go ahead and play the song Holiday Spirits. You are filled with mirth and happiness
Yes,
during
merriment.
this time of
Yeah,
year.
it's a Dolphins Christmas song.
All right.
It's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas everywhere you go. Take a look at 5 wins in a row. Fins are glistening once again with big defense and 2 stats all aglow. Yes, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas. Another TD for you. But the prettiest sight to see is the merriment that will be as we party like it's 1972. A pair of quarterback sacks and a diving pick, the wish of girlfriends and boys. And to a don't dawdle, just throw it to waddle, we'll all be dancing with joy. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas. Everywhere you go, we're making angels in the snow. There's Mac Collins on the Greg Cote Show. It's a festive jaunt of nonstop ho, ho, ho. So it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas, but sitting on Santa's lap. I don't need a new set of gloves or anything with a bow. Hey, fat man, just bring me 4 more wins in a row. That kind of thing.
That was the big finale. That kind of thing.
Really close to
Thank
show
you
on
very
that
much.
one. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Performance.
Thank you. People are throwing dozen roses on the desk here. This is unbelievable.
Made me
Thank
so
you.
happy.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
I came in here today, and the singing sports writer who's got a book about the 50 years of Dolphins football, Greg Cote, prides himself on being a Dolphin fan since a child. This team's winning streak has moved him now to terrible song that is breathless.
All
in
he had
parts.
was Fishmas there.
Yes,
the
it's-
lyrics
but it's
outside of
great.
that.
You know
It was
what?
great, though.
You know what? You're so right, Chris. All he had was Fishmas, but it was good enough.
Matt Collins was on the Greg Cote Show?
Yeah, that's right, Billy. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that.
Please allow me to go back for a second, though, because I want to play a sound from this. But Greg Cote loves this team. And when I came in here today, he said, Dolphins have a big game coming up. They're in the hunt to be in the hunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're in the hunt to be in the hunt as December approaches. This right here is the game they've lost for about 20 years to break your heart. And right when you think, oh my God, they're going to get back to 500. But the Jets are unspeakably terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You should get back to 500 in a league where I think, Stugotz, you're willing to adjust your power rankings, right? It wasn't that long ago that you were saying you would not be surprised if Seattle won the championship. This was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Now you would be surprised. But what you're seeing is there are a handful of teams. Rams, Cardinals, Cowboys, Bucks, Packers. They can beat anybody. You know it's random in the playoffs, but you're like the Chiefs. They can beat anybody.
Yes. Chargers. I mean,
Patriots, maybe.
I stopped doing it with the teams I just mentioned. They can beat anybody. Patriots are probably in that group.
We'll see.
I don't feel that way about them. But you can also say about that league, and this is one of the bleeped up things about that league. On any Sunday, it's quite possible that you'll be less surprised by the Lions winning than anyone losing. Than any team in the league losing. When Buffalo can go to Jacksonville and lose, anybody can. The Bucks can lose this week, and you won't make anything of it. It'll just sort of be like, oh, the Bucks lost. It doesn't mean anything.
Right. That's fair.
But there are only 5 teams, I feel like, or 6 that you could say this about, where you're like, that team that team can beat anybody. I know they might lose, but I know that team can beat anybody. Do you put the Rams in there? Do you not?
I put the Rams in there. I'm glad you asked me this. I've been waiting for this topic my entire life. I put the Rams in there. I put the Cardinals in there. I put the Chiefs in there. I'm taking the Ravens out of there because of Lamar Jackson. They were in there. I'm putting the Packers in there. I'm putting the Buccaneers in there. I'm putting the Cowboys in there.
The reason I bring it up is because in the hunt is the great illusion of that sport. The Dolphins don't have a real chance to win anything. All they have a chance to do is maybe they get there.
Right. I would say, assuming they get to 7-7, they finish with a tough schedule. The last 3 games are tough. If they can somehow win 2 of the last 3 and finish 9-7, I think that gets it. In the
it's
AFC,
17 games now, so it's not 9.
9-8 rather. I meant 9-8. My bad. 9-8. I think might get in.
The games after the Jets, so we're clear, they're at the Saints, they're at the Titans, they're home with the Patriots. So you have to win this week to even have a shot of making it to the playoffs. But, Dan, I think everyone would be happy down here in South Florida, considering the way the season started, trying to figure out if Tua's your guy,
course.
like just flirting with the playoffs. They were 1-5, weren't they?
They were
1-7.
1-7.
They were 1-7, and they have not lost a game in 6 weeks.
I think more about the wins and losses, it's just about what we've seen from Tua. I think Dolphin fans are feeling better about Tua, and regardless of what happens the last 4 games, and whether, I guess the last 4 games will determine how we feel even further about Tua. But I feel like it's kind of just been a little bit of a win because we feel at least now Tua's he might not be top 10, but Tua is a starter in this league, and that's a win.
I believe that what you're looking for the rest of the season, because again, it's not about the short-sighted micro for me on this Dolphins team. It's not about hot seat or whether or not, your skill guys are good enough or you have to do something in the draft. To me, the measurement here, because they flirted with Deshaun Watson, and these things can change over 6 weeks. They lose 3 of 4, or even if they lose to the Jets, watch what falls on Tua's head. Like watch how quickly it happens here. They've won they have not lost in 6 weeks, and what's left Tua is that the whole fervent panic that was around him before the trading deadline. Does his coach believe in him? All the junk that tests quarterbacks at the hardest position as they get put under more pressure quicker than we've ever seen, because this must be foreign to you, Greg. Our entire lifetime, the way that quarterbacks play at the beginning is the way Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields looked. And
correct.
Dan Marino was the stunner because he came in and was immediately Herbert. But our entire lifetime, the quarterback gets more time than Tua's gotten for the evaluation, more time and health. It's never this fast where you're thinking about a season and a half in, we might get rid of you.
Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 seasons waiting for Brett Favre to go away.
For perspective, Josh Allen, after 16 starts, had much poorer stats than Tua does right now. So what you say is correct. And Tua has started 16 games, which is 1 full season. Now 1 game less than a full season. So it's very premature to judge him. You judge him against the Trevor Lawrences.
You say that, but Greg, but the franchise was.
For sure.
The franchise was in a position where if perhaps lawyers say something different, Tua's experiment here would have already been over.
100% that's true, and that's to the franchise's shame for going all in, seemingly going all in on Deshaun Watson while they had Tua saying, hey, what about me? There was that one quote where Tua, at some point, just before the winning streak, by the way, was asked, do you feel wanted? And after an awkward pause, his quote was, I don't not feel wanted. And that's the position the Dolphins put him in.
But based on talent alone, how many teams on talent alone would take Deshaun Watson over their quarterback? Because the Dolphins,
most
all of
teams.
them.
All but about 5.
the
I think.
Dolphins saw an opportunity there to maybe improve their quarterback position. That doesn't mean that they necessarily gave up on Tua. They said, hey, we could take advantage of a bad situation here and get a better quarterback.
Yeah, but you got to factor in what they would have had to give up for Deshaun Watson, which is likely 3 first-round draft picks. Not 1 or 2, 3. And, to me, you ride out this season with Tua, and then you make a decision. What the Dolphins are doing right now has happened once in NFL history. In 100 years of NFL history, a team before Miami lost 7 games in a row and then won the next 5 games in a row. The 1994 Giants, only team to have ever done that. It's a remarkable turnaround. Tua has been in the driver's seat. Let's see where it leads.
Against bad teams,
But this is
Fair.
Okay, so with all of the qualifiers, offering all of the qualifiers, he's been injured, offensive line stinks. Again, historic amount of hurries being allowed by that offensive line. You cannot make a quarterback evaluation, any quarterback evaluation that way, never mind in 15 games. But let's take, against bad teams, let's take all of it away. What I'm telling you is what you want over these next 4 games, whether it's Parker, Waddle, is you want some flash moments where you're like, okay, I get it. I can believe in this. My hope is not cast aside. I can believe in throws and winning and late drives and give us something in 2 years, something to hang on to so we don't think like we're headed to that 7-year Tannehill purgatory again. Show us something. Feed our holiday hope as the singing sports writer gets to a place of song, his voice worse than ever and having trouble breathing.
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Now, what happened?
Nailed it.
What happened to
Okay.
your voice here?
All right.
Wait. Before we get to Greg Cote's general deterioration over the last 3 years, the singing sports writer used to argue, you don't know about me, whether I'm a good singer with a little bit of a bad voice or a bad singer with a little bit of a good voice. But he's left no doubt now, as his voice has fallen apart, that he is simply a bad singer.
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Okay.
It makes me want to kill myself.
Okay. There's an explanation there, but it involves throwing my son under the bus a little bit. And I got to be honest here. Okay. Producer Chris Cote was given 3 versions of that song.
And I left the right one in because you don't understand what we're going for here.
I'm just saying I happened to lose my voice. I think it was because I was beginning to laugh. Okay, I was beginning to laugh
You were.
at the whole
Yeah, you can hear
ludicrousness
it.
of this.
Yes.
And that's
Oh,
what
it's
happened.
beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
At the ridiculousness of what it is you were doing.
I started to laugh, and that's why I lost my breath, and he leaves that one in.
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Laughing a cough.
Oh, my God.
Laugh leads to a cough.
It's
Yeah.
the best take.
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Jeez, I got to use my inhaler after listening to that.
That's how I got greeted by Greg today. As we're starting the show, he's fishing around in his pocket, and I'm looking at my teammate falling apart, deteriorating, and he's like, "You have no idea how important it is to start the morning with an inhaler."
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Oh, attaboy. Inhaling it.
That felt good. All right, I'm back.
How long was that?
27 minutes.
30? All right, we could use 10 more minutes on something else.
All right, let's do something else. Ready? I got something.
Marked and ready to go.
Hold on. Give me just a second. All right, you ready? The Heat lose against the Cavs last night. The Heat are a bit physically broken. I don't know how many people notice or care, but as the NFL has 37 reported COVID positive tests, according to Adam Schefter, and the Bulls cancel a couple of games, the rest of the country's being more careful around the sports stuff, or the rest of the, globe is being more careful around the sports stuff than we are presently being. And it would appear that we're headed toward some bad numbers some worse numbers.
Things
at the
are
very
starting
least.
to get bad in the Premier League too, Dan. Some games have already been postponed. They're waiting to see if Manchester United can play a scheduled game that I think has already been pushed back. I know Tottenham was affected over the weekend. Adam Schefter reported 37 new cases in the NFL yesterday, which is the most since we started doing this.
It's going to distort the product so much because on top of the injuries and more games, what you're doing for the measurement here, depleted teams where right now Tennessee might finish 12-5 and they're not going to have a chance if this is the state that they're going into the playoffs in.
If this is their team, right, without Derrick Henry. That's an injury, though, to Derrick
No, but
Henry.
I'm saying now you've got the injuries and this. You've got you've got two variables here that are really random.
You had it last night with the Monday night game, which was a great game, but it was Jalen Ramsey and Tyler Higbee, I think, right before the game. The Rams are announcing those two can't play because of COVID. Right.
Those are massive. I'd say get used to it. Right now, over 80% of the league is alive in the playoff chase. This thing is going to affect playoff chases.
And as an example, the Dolphins will be without their leading rusher against the Jets. If this winning streak ends, it's probably going to have a lot to do with COVID.
Greg, it's not just him. It's the entire backfield.
I know.
It's all of them,
Ahmed, Lindsey, too. In addition to Gaskin, your starting running back may be Duke Johnson.
Yeah, who they just activated off the practice squad because of all these COVID things. And the NHL has also had issues with this that are current.
Calgary has a bad situation right now.
Right.
It's affecting everybody.
I do wonder because
except Brady. Not affecting him.
He's got a fake COVID test suspended wide receiver, and it's not affecting him. I wonder, when you mention Brady, if Bill Belichick at all right now, as he's got a great point differential and the surprise team in football, I wonder if he looks at us, everybody, you, me, the media, and is like, these mother bleepers. Brady wins the title, and I have a year with historic COVID guys quitting. Guys just don't want to play. And I can't get something out of Cam Newton because we're all seeing Cam Newton is spent as a football player. I wonder if Belichick, while watching that World Series or that Super Bowl or last year, if he's looking at this and saying, the last 2 decades get erased that fast because Brady wins a title at 44. Y'all forgot that fast.
Yep.
That, like, when I'm in a season where I have more COVID guys going out than anybody, like just not playing for me that season. And now you see when I get them back what my defense looks like.
Well, he also got a quarterback in the draft. I mean,
okay, but he got not what last year was, hit harder than any team by COVID before we even started, where they had guys wiping their hands of the season before we started.
I think last season played out in the worst possible way for Bill Belichick because of some of the things you said. Guys just not wanting to play, Brady leaving, Brady and Gronk together winning a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, the first season that Brady and Belichick are apart. And I'm certain there's a part of Belichick that does look at it like the way you just described. He has to. Why wouldn't he? Hey, it all got erased in one season. But you know what? It got erased in one season. But it's slowly coming back this season. You're starting to hear people praise Belichick again.
Straw man.
I think most people afforded Bill Belichick a bad season.
Well,
no, he was written off.
To your point,
slowly coming back.
This has to be one of the most satisfying seasons of Belichick's career. It has to be after what he went through last year. And let's not forget, this season began badly for the Patriots. They lost their first 3 home games.
They lost to the Dolphins.
Right. And so he's really turned it around.
Dolphins didn't win for 2 months, except for at New England.
Yep. They won, luckily, but still they won. And Belichick could be the coach of the year right now.
I have a new award, comeback coach of the year. How about that? Bill Belichick. He should win it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Comeback coach of the year, a new award. You think we need a new sports award?
There should be a hot seat coach of the year, too.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Is that Nagy?
That's Nagy.
That has to be hot seat coach of the year. What is what are your qualifications for hot seat coach of the year?
You have to keep your job, but you have to be in the hot seat. If you get fired, you don't win the award,
Okay,
obviously.
right. But so if you Nagy's been on the hot seat since week 1, has he not? Since before, like he's been hot seat all year, never moved from it.
It's a bit unfair when you consider Nagy's made the playoffs twice, has a better record than Kyle Shanahan. Like, he's not a terrible coach. I don't think he should be on the hot seat.
Brian Flores at 1-7 was kind of on the hot seat.
No, but he's off. He's lost the award.
But the fact that he was at 1-7 and now he's
mid-season, he would have been the mid-season possibly.
Guys,
Pete Carroll, I put on there.
Really? No, you have to be doing well while being on the hot seat. It was a hot seat season for Zach Taylor, probably a hot seat season for Mike McCarthy. For me, those are the 2 leading candidates.
All right, you're defining it differently then.
Because they succeeded while on the hot seat.
Billy
This
doesn't
isn't a successful award. no.
Billy's making the rules on what this award is. What is this award?
You have to be on the hot seat but not lose your job. But you can't get off the hot seat because then you're not eligible.
But Mike is saying, does this job? You're saying the qualification for this award is just to be good. To be good at the hot seat.
So it can only be Matt Nagy.
Joe Judge, possibly.
Mike. Ooh.
Dan the Man
Joe
Campbell.
Judge, wow.
Dan the Man.
Wow, Dan Camp.
Urban Meyer.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Still has a job. So
Right. So we name this, right? It's the Adam Gase hot seat coach of the year. Is that what we're calling it?
I still don't understand the disagreement between Mike Ryan and Billy. Can you guys have it
I
out
thought
amongst
it was a good
yourself?
thing, like being able to succeed while people identified you as someone that might get fired.
Being good at the hot seat. Billy's saying it doesn't matter what your record is.
No, I think Billy just has it as a matter of survival.
Yeah, it's a survival award. By the way, Urban Meyer should win an award of some kind. We have to commemorate this masterful performance of a season.
How do we
Urban
do
Meyer
that? You're absolutely right. Should it be the first ever Urban Meyer embarrass yourself, shit yourself award? It's kind of clunky.
You could probably come up with a better name.
Something a little better than that. Can you guys come up with something?
What is the Shit Yourself award is Paul Pierce's.
Just like the Woof award.
Wow. By like Alpo or something. Yeah. There has to be a sponsor.
Sponsored by the dog food company.
Yeah, it's between him and Antonio Brown.
Dog of a season.
That's Woof.
Woof. Oh, wait a minute. So Antonio Brown, it's players and coaches? Is it all? Is it all of sports?
Open it up.
Could it be Kyrie Irving?
Aaron Rodgers had a week. He's kind of
a week. Then he played. I mean, it all went away.
Now it's got a good award. Let's see. What do we have
the
here?
The toe thing. Don't forget.
Who's winning the Woof Award? And now you're making it players and coaches. You're making it.
It's still Urban. He had the picture. Yeah, I think it's still
Antonio
Urban.
Brown's like lifetime achievement.
It's still
probably.
Urban over Aaron Rodgers and
Nick
Kyrie
Rolovich?
Irving.
Can I get Nick Rolovich?
Well, Kyrie's another sport.
Can I get Cam Newton? I mean, woof.
Cam's always up there.
Another year, Cam would have been a big contender in this, but not this year.
Nick Rolovich lost his job, but he didn't come. Mike, you've got to be famous because it can't just be you're at the center
He's
of
receiving votes.
Of the shit show.
Is he invited to the ceremony at the downtown
He
athletic
would
club?
be if he were Urban. Is my point. My point: if Urban were behaving like Rolovich, we'd be like, "Holy shit!" But because Rolovich is Rolovich, everybody's like, whatever."
Yeah.
They played some outpost.
Oh, Urban's coming to the ceremony.
If this was the Heisman ceremony, who do we got? It's Urban, it's Kyrie, it's Aaron Rodgers. Who's our fourth? No, this is just
football.
sports.
Yeah.
Well, Billy, are you willing to allow coaches and players? Because now it expanded very quickly. You were just in coaches, and it was a comeback coach of the year award, and then it became woof. Coaches embarrassed me, and now it's
after the hot seat award.
How about Ben Simmons? Can I put Ben Simmons?
Oh,
in
that's
there?
basketball.
It's a football award.
Antonio Brown would be my vote.
Really?
Yeah.
Over Urban.
Oh yeah. You when you fake a vaccine ID, you're pretty much representing an entire mindset in this country, which is partly why we're having more issues with COVID, in my opinion.
More issues with our general breathing.
That kind of thing.
It's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Man, is that going to come back to haunt me? It already has.
It's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
I demand that Christopher play the 2 versions of that song that I sent him that are not.
Oh, it's beginning
stop.
to look a lot like Fishmas.
Because you want it to be a little bit better
Yes.
than that, and therefore just simply merely awful.
That's right.
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Fishmas.
Mike, I wanted to ask you something after watching the Heat lose last night against Cleveland. Cleveland's going to make the playoffs.
Sneaky good.
Cleveland, I actually think that's a really good fit for Ben Simmons if they can get in that game.
What would the Cavs have to give back, though?
They got some young pieces.
They have some
that might be
players.
attractive. Yeah, Cleveland's good, man.
But it will take them a couple of steps, as it always does. I feel like I can almost dismiss Cleveland this way. Yes, probably a 4 or a 5 seed and probably not going to make it toward the end of where this is, and we'll have to learn.
That's a good foundation.
Yeah, no, that's where all the teams start.
That's how it starts.
It's rare when the seasons are normal, when it's not bubble seasons or shortened seasons.
Right.
It's rare that anyone gets to just arrive, land, and win deep into the playoffs.
Maybe they win a series, get swept by the Nets in the second round.
Something
That'd be a
like
great
that.
season for the
So-
Cavaliers.
Historically, the
Right.
Miami Heat have had very weird climbs to the top of the Eastern Conference. They do it after they miss the playoffs, but usually you start as a 4 seed and you have a bitter defeat and you build on that.
This is what we can say because Kyrie Irving was considered a loser when he was in Cleveland before LeBron got there. This is the first Cleveland team that is non-LeBron, that the Cavs organization has gotten a blueprint structure correct and built something in 20 years. In the entire time of LeBron's reign, Cleveland has weathered whatever that was when it would lose, and it would lose awful. They wouldn't make the playoffs. They were trying to trade a piece for Luol Deng to get into the 8 seed, and they just were terrible without LeBron. This is the first team that they've had in 20 years, non-LeBron, that can actually be fun to watch and do what they did to Miami, a broken Miami team last night. But the thing I wanted to ask you, Mike, is I saw these stats making the rounds this weekend. Is the Lakers going to have to do something, Stugotz, because they're too old and they're not going to just go into the trade deadline looking the way they do now, where they'll lose. They won't even get to the Warriors. Like they don't look like they're anything other than old, and they're not going to turn something on. When I'm looking at what's happening around that sport, Stugotz, where LeBron is handing it over, right? This is the end of whatever. No?
I mean, I'm not ready to just say it's the end of LeBron's run. I think he could still turn it on. I think the Lakers could still make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Okay, but what I wanted to ask you was this. Anthony Davis, because this is such an interesting meat shield that LeBron has at the end. He's got a couple of them, Stugotz, in Westbrook and Anthony Davis. Who could protect me from being the guy who gets blamed for this falling apart?
Right.
Who's going to, because already.
He's got Frank Vogel, too.
And Vogel, too.
That has to be why they brought in Westbrook. There's nobody in the league that will play this role for me better than Russell Westbrook.
He's the Michael Jordan of this role.
Yes. He did it for
Shield.
He did it for Durant,
And we could Billy fire up a Meat Shield award. Name it after Russell Westbrook.
I like that.
For sure. The numbers on Anthony Davis, and the reason I wanted to ask Mike is this. Mike would have a Miami Heat championship right now if Anthony Davis hadn't shot 38% from 3 in the bubble. And the stat that I have in front of me is that Anthony Davis shot 38% from 3 in the bubble and has shot less than 30% from 3 the rest of his entire life. He is not a shooter from out there, but in the bubble where the shooting was rewarded, and you can argue that the Heat might not have gotten there as a 5 seed if not for the shooting advantages given to good shooters in the bubble. But Anthony Davis, this is already landing on him. Charles Barkley calls him street clothes all the time, and every time the Lakers lose, somebody points out, and is right to point out, hey, Anthony Davis, top 5 player in the league. You're supposed to help him age. You're the reason he got you and clutch management got you is because you're the piece that's going to keep LeBron young so he doesn't have to do it for you at the end and when he's 40.
I agree with a lot of that, but Anthony Davis has helped LeBron James. The season before Anthony Davis came to L.A., the Lakers with just LeBron James were not very good. In fact, they were terrible.
They were good until LeBron tore his groin, and then the last 16 games of the season they didn't. And he was a mess. They were a 4 seed before he got hurt.
But then they get Anthony Davis. They win a championship, bubble or no bubble. They still won a championship, and they won that championship not because of LeBron, because of Anthony Davis. I mean, they did.
But what I'm asking Mike is the question: how do you feel about the only Heat team? Non-Wade, that you have had that has a real chance to win the title. It lost in 6 games with Goran Dragic hurt and suffered the best Anthony Davis that LeBron has ever had.
I mean, I was saying it at the time. Everybody was pointing to the Heat as the bubble fraud team, and because the other team had Anthony Davis and LeBron James, everyone kind of respected their championship. But the shooting splits that you highlighted from Anthony Davis, that was kind of arguably metal sand best player in the world type stuff. And he wasn't quite that leading up to it. He certainly hasn't been that since, and he's still a young man. The plan was for LeBron to be the secondary piece. Now, Anthony Davis, by any measurement for good players, is still having a good season. But it's just not going the way that people thought, and he's not as readily available as people thought. And that was kind of the book on him entering.
But Dan, the Lakers that season, before the bubble, pandemic, all that stuff happened, were 52-19. They were the 1 seed in the West. The Heat, and I think the bubble helped the Heat more than it helped any other team. The Heat were a 5 seed. That team usually does not make it to the NBA Finals.
5 seed is a bit of a rhetorical trick, too, because the East was very jumbled up that year.
But they weren't one of the best teams in the East at any point that year, and nobody would have expected, just strictly on talent, that's not a finals team. They were a big surprise to make the finals, and they're called a bubble fraud because people were
because they were a surprise.
I mean, people were either underestimating that team, or
Yes,
5 seeds generally don't make it to the finals.
I actually think people were underestimating them, considering how they were playing some of the other teams in the East, but you're not going to win that in terms of national perception. Just like I actually think more so than the bubble season, last season was more of a season if you want to poke holes in a reigning champion. I think last year was far more impacted by the virus than the bubble season, where they didn't have a real COVID scare in there.
Mike, I understand, but if you take COVID out of it, the pandemic, the bubble, and the Lakers, like I would expect the Lakers, even in a normal playoff scenario, playing in front of fans, the 1 seed in the West with LeBron and Anthony Davis, still going to make the NBA Finals. I don't think the Heat would have made the NBA Finals had they go on the.
Well, just
I think that's on us, but I'm not going to win this argument.
Go ahead and backtrack if you want. No, it wasn't expected that they would beat Milwaukee in the second round that year, and it wasn't expected that they would beat Boston. They were
I was saying
they were underdogs in both of those series.
Right. But the Anthony Davis we saw in the bubble is the Anthony Davis LA has been waiting a year and a half to see again. If we have that same guy, he's carrying the team right now. LeBron is trying to age gracefully, saying, Anthony, AD, you have to take over. I have to be the second guy.
My point is that he's not the bubble player. The player is the sample that you get outside of the bubble. He's not going to be that from 3 ever again. He was only that from 3 in the bubble. And if you make him that from 3, Stugotz, you make him an above-average three-point shooter.
Unstoppable.
You make him a totally unstoppable basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have to respect that shot because he makes it at an under 30% clip outside of the bubble, that's who he is. He's not going to become...
He was a killer when the ball found its way into his hands in the bubble, and you could count on him. That just makes him unguardable.
Totally unguardable. You cannot... I mean, if...
He was hitting circus shots.
You have to respect his 3. He's unguardable if he's hitting that shot. I mean, he is.
Let's do it this way. Can you guys look this up for me so I can explain to you what the difference is between 30 and 38% from 3? Because what's Kevin Durant's career three-point shooting percentage? Because Russell Westbrook and Dwayne Wade are among the worst three-point shooters by volume in the history of the sport.
Hey, Wade turned that around late.
You are so
You've
defensive.
done enough.
You are so defensive.
You
are so defensive.
You don't need to sully his great name.
My point is that Russell Westbrook is a bad three-point shooter. He should shoot it less, but because he makes it a little close to 30% of the time, he keeps shooting it.
KD is 38.4% from 3 for his career.
So
that's ridiculous.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you make Anthony Davis,
he should have won a ring by
38% from 3, all of a sudden he's KD.
Right. Right. But when they got Anthony Davis, you don't think they were expecting more? You don't think he should be better than he is right now based on expectations.
I think he is a great player who has only been good enough to be a number one who can get you eliminated in the first round of the playoffs if he's your number one, and a number two who can win the championship if he's 38% in the bubble and LeBron is the best basketball player in the world. Yes, I would say.
Which he still was 2 years ago.
Right now, Anthony Davis is morphing, even as a champion, and very quickly, Stugotz, very quickly, is morphing in front of our eyes because he will soil what's left of LeBron if he does not carry him. This is a diminished LeBron.
Right.
It's not, he cannot do these things at this age that he did in his prime.
Greg, he's shooting 19% from three this year. I mean, he's 30% for his career, Anthony Davis, to his credit, which is pretty good for a guy his size, but 19% this year.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer and a career disappointment if the rest of his legacy is that he could not pull LeBron out of being the old guy because he was summoned as the fountain of youth. That's the reason you built clutch management. Stugotz, LeBron has been thinking post-career for 2 or 3 years. He's trying to build media stuff. He went to LA so he could make all the Hollywood connections that needed to be made so that he could be, you know, a guy who's in the media content empire as well after his playing days are done, and maybe he owns a basketball team or whatever it is his conquering is going to be.
Whatever he wants to do. Yeah, he'll own a basketball
team. But Anthony Davis was brought in as the chief mercenary by the clutch management group.
Yep.
As Rich Paul now makes his way into whatever Adele's world is, right? Like whatever that is.
But when they brought Anthony Davis in and said, hey, this is going to add one title to LeBron's career, they would have taken that.
Yeah, that's worth it.
Right.
And keep in mind, the pursuit of Anthony Davis nuked the Lakers season beforehand. You want to place it on the groin, but remember, LeBron came back and activated Zero Dark 30, and it was, oh, well, here comes LeBron.
Oh, but he came back, but he was diminished because of the groin injury.
No, he was diminished because his teammates checked out on him because of the public courting of Anthony Davis.
Mike, you don't know what it's like to come back from a groin injury.
No,
in
but
LeBron's
I also know what it's
body.
like historically when LeBron activates Zero Dark 30 mode.
Okay, but
it's a blight on his career. The fact that he
you're
missed the
talking
playoffs
about
in his
Zero
prime.
Dark 30 mode, which is a mental thing. I'm talking about a physical thing.
And he took appropriate time for it. It's data to take into account. But when I look at what nuked that season, I saw a bunch of young, impressionable kids that were growing in the league, and it absolutely torched their confidence. Ingram, Lonzo, Kuzma, like that season was ruined by the public pursuit and tampering with Anthony Davis. But they got the title. It ended up working out. LeBron's going to have 3 different titles, 3 different photos, and 3 different uniforms. And that adds to his legacy. That's something that Jordan was never able to do. So that's how he decided to chase ghosts. But all in all, Anthony Davis, outside of one spectacular run in the bubble, has not been what they thought he'd be.
That's exactly right. He's been a big disappointment because he's going to be judged on what he's done to help LeBron transition from the be-all, end-all to the gracefully aging number 2 guy. And he hasn't done that yet. He's failed to do that, and that has to be why they brought him over at that age.
But I think Dan's point is LeBron has built-in excuses now. It's never going to be his fault. It's going to be Davis, it's going to be Westbrook, and it's going to be Vogel.
Maybe it isn't his fault.
But that's not just my point. One of the great reasons that it has been such a legitimate pleasure to cover these 20 years of LeBron's dominating sports is what you're witnessing, even though we're in the middle of it and we'll move on to the next guy and we'll forget that this dude has been running sports for damn near 15 years, and the first 5 years before that were an ascent that were real fast. What I'm looking at as I see all of this happening is, God damn, when you start raising the stakes up to where LeBron puts them, you could be a Hall of Famer like Anthony Davis and have Stugotz and Greg Cote talk about you this way, and they'll never say that about Damian Lillard, because Damian Lillard could just stay over there and not win forevermore, and you'll never say it about Damian Lillard. But Anthony Davis dared to be number 2 to GOAT or near GOAT or legacy or most famous athlete in the world, and look at what he gets from Greg Cote and Stugotz for merely winning one championship. Just big disappointment. Those are where the stakes get raised when you want to play up where LeBron plays basketball.
Right. I am giving him credit for, like, listen, it worked. They won a title with him as number 2. I'm giving him credit for that. They weren't good without him. They got him. They won an NBA championship.
The Laker portion of LeBron's career is fascinating to me because history will remember the title. But last year they were in the play-in tournament. They missed the playoffs one time. It's overall, generally, in terms of what LeBron just gives you access to, been a disappointment, but they won the title.
Only because of where he puts the standard,
But
Mike.
they win the title, and LeBron almost walked out on the one thing that helped get them the title, which was the bubble.
But he puts the expectations at, I'm going to spend a decade in the finals so that when I don't make the playoffs, you guys keep pointing to the 2 seasons, and we're arguing about the 16-game stretch that he happened to miss in 2 decades. Like, this is how you're supposed to age. He just hasn't aged. Like,
He's missing more time now than he ever has.
I mean,
but you still don't want to face those two if they're healthy in the play. They don't care about home court advantage.
You say that. The Suns
I'm not bailing on LeBron yet.
Give a shit who they were playing.
Mike, don't do
LeBron's over there saying, "Hey, you guys just came around. Respect us." And there have been reports that the Suns don't respect him.
Mike, I care about you.
Oh my God!
What are you doing?
Oh my God!
You understand that I have history on my side. The Suns smashed them.
Hold on.
Don't bail on LeBron.
The Suns smashed them.
Holy shit!
Mike, he has not written the final chapter yet.
The highest.
He has not won his last title yet.
Doing that. Are you doing that? Are you doing that to Mike Ryan? Are you putting?
I don't doubt that.
I care about.
I don't doubt that LeBron's won his last title. By the way, I think he'll be a great piece at the deadline for somebody if he wants a ring chase.
You're saying that LeBron is now in the Tom Brady category where you're telling Mike, be careful, I care about you?
Be careful about writing him off. Be careful about, saying that he's done, that he's not going to win another title with the Lakers. Mike, I care about you.
What are you guys even disagreeing about?
I have no idea.
I think we're agreeing on everything.
Why is everyone yelling at each other? Screaming, and it's like, I have no clue what the debate is here.
Try to have a happy day over
that way.
All right, very good.
What happened?
Greg Cote hangs on. He tends to hang on to some old-fashioned values every once in a while in sports. Stugotz, he clutches his pearls, and so you can find yourself in a place where he is he's indignant because Spencer Rattler now has the rights to just go to South Carolina to say, bleep this at Oklahoma. And we are in the wild, wild west now of Shane Beamer, Frank Beamer's kid can just steal your quarterback, Oklahoma.
He's a Gamecock?
He is now.
Really?
Crazy. It's insane.
He was the Heisman favorite before this season. The favorite to win the most prestigious award anywhere in sports is now playing at South Carolina. Who's their coach? I mean, anyone?
I just told you.
He had just told you.
I just said it.
I wasn't listening.
Like, how
I was rattled by the news.
How could that be that I just...
Yeah.
Yes. My boy.
What?
Oh, that's harsh. Where's your Christmas spirit?
Why are you indignant about this, Greg Cote?
Well,
because I don't remember you being indignant about the Hurricanes getting De'Aaron King.
I'm indignant. I hate the transfer portal except when it benefits my team. But in all seriousness, it's bad for sports. It's bad for sports. I like the continuity. If you're a fan of a team, you should have the knowledge that, okay, I have a great freshman quarterback. I know I'm going to have him for at least 3 years. And it's killed college basketball. It's one of the things that drove Krzyzewski into retirement is the idea that the one and done in college basketball has hurt the game. And now football is doing the same thing. It's bad. It's just, you can't defend that it's good for the sport.
Oh, I can, and I'm about to, because
it's good for the athlete.
The sport has been great, but it can be all these things. It doesn't have to be one of them. I don't have to choose. Mike Leach is out here giving voice to any player who opts out of a bowl game. He's calling it one of the biggest absurdities he's ever seen. He says you owe it to your team, your fans, and your coaches to play in that game. In other words, you owe it to everyone other than yourself. Your team, your fans, your coaches. But if it protects your body and your professional investment, then no. And what I would say to you and everyone listening to this is stop thinking of it as amateurism right now, please. It's never been amateurism, but it ain't amateurism anymore. Like Sampson and Skipper are telling you, soon it's going to be $3 million or $5 million for a college quarterback. If you want your program to succeed and you want Archie Manning's kid soon, very soon, as the boosters get involved and as the injustice continues of using these bodies for profit for television and then asking the boosters and others to cover your labor. Good God, I want that deal for Meadowlark Media, please. Right. Give me somebody or something that's so precious, that Greg Cote makes so precious, amateurism, when that ship sailed years ago. It's now, it's just now that you're seeing it.
I've come to grips with the idea that amateurism is dead. I don't mind the name, image, likeness thing, the NIL. I think if you have the stature to make money as a college quarterback, go ahead and do it. I'm against the idea that you sign a scholarship and a year later you're like ripping that up and going to another school.
Are you against Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley able to do the same thing, or that's okay?
I don't think that's okay either. I think you fulfill a commitment unless it's a mutual parting, and unless Notre Dame wants to get rid of somebody, then that's fine. Unless the guy has a contract, he shouldn't be gotten rid of.
Dan, here's where it gets sticky. Rattler has an opportunity for himself to go to South Carolina, a school he never wanted to go to. Now he gets to go there, and he gets to reinvent himself.
How do you know?
Because he went to Oklahoma.
But
okay, but
you don't know.
No, but early signing week, you usually have a top 5.
Okay, maybe it was in his top 5. He didn't choose to go there.
You're just speaking definitively, like you know.
Well, he didn't go there, so maybe it's in his top 5. You're right, but he didn't go there.
You just flatly. I don't want to get.
I'm doubting South Carolina was one of his top final 5 schools.
Okay,
so he obviously wanted to play for Shane Beamer because Shane Beamer was at Oklahoma,
right?
And Rattler and a very good tight end, by the way, have gone to South Carolina to play with Shane Beamer. So he obviously valued playing for Shane Beamer.
I'm not saying what he did is wrong. I'm just saying this is where it gets sticky. There is a kid who chose to go to South Carolina to play quarterback who no longer has that opportunity. And maybe it doesn't bother you, and maybe it doesn't bother Dan, but it does bother some people that kids have the ability to do that. No, Mike, if it was your kid playing a college sport.
Stugotz, he chose to play for Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley left him at the altar. Lincoln Riley also benched him during the year.
And there's a kid who chose to play for South Carolina.
And he's going to have an opportunity to play.
He's not beating that quarterback.
Screw him. Screw that kid.
Right.
Yeah. You guys are. This is fascinating.
You're upset about sports?
I feel bad for the other kids.
No, what's interesting is he wants it changed by Rattler and not Beamer, who switched teams. Like, you want it changed by the kid,
I don't want anything. I'm just saying this is where it gets sticky for a lot of people.
You don't want management to fix how dirty that business is. Like, you just saw Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley. Like, the money, the business is going to the SEC right now. Everyone's going to the SEC. Shane Rattler realizes, oh, look, I could team up with a person I believe in at South Carolina and go play minor league professional football in the SEC for a program that if I can reinvent South Carolina, I go from Heisman favorite to guy who gets run out of Oklahoma because he's not good enough to reinventing myself in the SEC. And now I'll have a narrative game against Oklahoma, perhaps. Somewhere in the future.
Oklahoma could even jump this offseason.
Yeah, but when Greg's saying it's not great for the sport, what you're having now is a bunch of kids. Like, there's a kid who committed to South Carolina to play quarterback as a freshman. Now he's going to enter the transfer portal because he's going to sit for another year.
Stugotz, there have been kids that commit to schools all the time that never get to play.
I'm okay with what Rattler did. I'm okay with all of it. I know what college football is all about. I'm just saying that's where it gets sticky and uncomfortable for a lot of people.
You're not wrong about that. But what I'm telling you is the adjustment to that can't be to just inhibit the freedoms of the kid because you don't like that. You've got to, this has been a thing, Stugotz, for so many years, never mind paying players and all the things that have fallen during the pandemic and everything. For years across sports television, decades across sports television, what you would hear is, it's not fair that these coaches can change teams and get a pay raise without consequences, leaving behind these same kids, these same recruiting classes, and that the players don't have the same freedom. What you're presently objecting to, as sticky is, all right, bleep it. Amateurism's over. Everybody gets the freedom. And you guys are clinging to your pearls on, please let me keep it the way it was. And the way it was unjust is because everybody, bowl commissioners, everybody, NCAA president, please keep it precious. Please keep it unjust. It profits everyone. And the players are now, no, where's ours? Like, give us our money. And as soon as that happens, then the fans are like, ooh, this doesn't feel like rah-rah anymore. This feels uncomfortably like business. This is, ooh, dirty, players, you fix it.
But what you're arguing for, what you feel bad about is, okay, say there was a commit, and let's just bypass the fact that there's a recruiting cycle every year. And every year a head coach is looking to replace you and upgrade at the position with high school recruits. What you're omitting when you're feeling bad for the South Carolina quarterback that's second on the depth chart and by seniority thinks he's destined to be the starting quarterback is now Rattler comes into this program. Unexpected, yes. Well, guess what that poor South Carolina Gamecock quarterback now has available to him? The ability to leave and improve his situation. Penalty free.
Yeah, but maybe South Carolina was the best situation for that particular kid. Oklahoma has the ability to, Mike, they did it, right? To recruit multiple quarterbacks who could win the Heisman Trophy. They had 2 on their roster this year. One of them can play. The other one who doesn't play gets to go somewhere else and take another kid's job who actually wanted to go to South Carolina.
But what you're lamenting is the solution for this hypothetical quarterback that you feel so bad about now. He has an escape hatch. He can go and handpick the best possible situation for him this very year, penalty free.
Yeah, but the quarterback at South Carolina probably doesn't have a better situation than South Carolina. Where's he going to go? Is he coming to Miami?
Okay, all right, let's just do this, okay, Stugotz? You care very deeply about the kid at Carolina whose name you do not know, who's faceless victim here. Like, you care. Let's just establish. Your point is established.
What's happening, if I could say this for a second, is it's trickling down to other sports, and my daughter's about to become a college athlete, and it's annoying.
I gathered as much. I gathered that, of course, it's rooted in some sort of selfish interest of yours.
As it should be.
It's established. You feel very bad for this kid whose name you do not know.
Yeah.
Well, on a program whose coach you did not know, even though we said it.
I still don't know.
Seconds earlier.
Yeah. It's an evolution and a revolution because the college scholarship no longer means anything. National Signing Day.
It never meant anything.
No longer
Greg.
means anything.
The college scholarship never. No, Jimmy Johnson told players you're on a year-to-year evaluation, and I decide whether I re-up you or not. Nick Saban would cut scholarship athletes like you wouldn't believe year over year. It's one thing if the coaches themselves are handling this commitment like a firm 4-year commitment to improve you as a person and the betterment of your livelihood beyond just going to this school. That's not what they did.
There's no doubt that the transfer portal benefits the top players. It gives them freedom. But my initial question to you, and it remains, it may be great for some of these players. Is it great for the sport?
Well, this is why I say it will be great for the sport. So hear me out on this, because it requires you to take a 10-year look at what's happening right now in front of your eyes. The XFL, all these leagues where they failed, it's about to succeed. It's going to be the SEC minor league network of football that is the closest entry to the pros that you have, with all the tradition of Auburn and Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas, and everyone's rushing over there, and you're about to see a minor league of football grow right in front of your eyes. Everyone else is going to scramble for where the pieces are left on the great white shark, the remora fish. But you're going to see the entire landscape change, in a minor league football league that's a hell of a lot more professional than amateur, which has been for a long time, is going to come out of its camouflage, and you're going to see it's going to be run like an empire, because it ain't going to fail like the XFL. It's going to be a monster. All SEC things, it's only going to get bigger and stronger. The more Kiffins and Leaches come in, and now you got free agents. You got mercenaries. I think in 10 years, you're going to have fantasy ball. Fantasy ball is going to be where the minor leagues are, because of how your minor league already exists, and it's going to be bigger than it's ever been when it's just the SEC.
The portal benefits everybody. Michigan State had a roster turnover of close to half their roster, and they embrace the portal. It's not just the kids coming in. In some respects, it's the kids leaving, because that frees you up, and that opens another space for the next guy. What happened at Charleston Rainbow this year was awesome. You're talking about a guy that felt like he didn't have the opportunity to shine at Oklahoma. What does he do? He puts in his name in the transfer portal, and he sets a record for the University of Miami. Having faith in himself, I think that shit is awesome.
It's unbelievable to watch that anyone would have any objection to it, while clutching to what amateurism used to be is startling to me, because you should root for the professionalization of all of this. You should. It's only going to keep getting bigger and better the more Alabamas there are. If everyone's trying to topple Alabama, you eliminate the veneer of this has never been about school. It's been about academics.
So in your vision, there's going to be a Power 1 conference. There's not going to be a Power 5.
People are going
the
to
ACC disappears.
No,
what is your vision?
People are objecting to this because, of course, they want Michigan and Penn State and all those things to matter, and they will just be lower levels of the minor leagues. There's going to be a 12-team playoff. There's going to be more and more television money. There's going to be more and more streaming money, and more money to dispense allows Miami to get in the game with Cristobal. If you really look at this up to now, honestly, let's think about this. 20 programs in the country are like really, really fighting to be great at football. Is it 30? 30? Your minor league is already built. All you got to do is just strip the library away from it and just make everybody LSU. Like, I know people are going to get uncomfortable with that because they wanted to tell you about the regional rah-rah and the marching bands, but it seems like that's what's just been fast-forwarded by the pandemic.
What about Luke Doty, though? What is he going to do? I mean, that's the South Carolina quarterback who's from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, wanted to stay home, committed 4 years to the university he's always wanted to go to as a kid. He's played 2 seasons, and now it's over. Why? Because Spencer Rattler wasn't good enough to play at Oklahoma.
Yeah. Not over.
I mean,
in previous incarnations of the sport, it would be over.
Poor Doty.
But now Doty can go to Coastal Carolina and come in as a hotshot guy that was committed to South Carolina, the state school, and ride it out with a very good mid-major program.
But Doty wanted to go to South Carolina and play for a bad SEC team.
Well, what if he got benched in South Carolina? So you want him to just sit on the bench instead of getting to go somewhere else and be able to play?
He did just get benched, and now he has an out.
He just got benched. He was the starter. Now he's benched. I mean, poor kid from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I'm sure
wanted to stay home.
This kid probably disagrees with you. He's probably trying to transfer somewhere, and you're trying to stop him.
He's very upset, Doty.
I love that Stugotz is like a mother hen protecting South Carolina's wronged, innocent quarterback.
Luke Doty.
But what I'm asking the rest of you,
last year.
I'm asking all of you here, I'm not making fun of this. You're right, Stugotz. You're correct. It isn't fair that a kid, it's not fair. It does not feel fair according to the standards that we have. It might be according to meritocracy and commerce, but that it should be that cold for a kid who believes in his school as Bo Nix transfers. As Bo Nix transfers.
He got a diploma from Auburn.
But
he's different.
I want to ask you guys if you don't get excited by all of the infants and toddlers and innocence and purity that gets crushed by what I'm telling you, which is in the future. What it's going to be basically is the SEC is the AAA of football. And then the Michigans and the Ohio States and the Kansas States are going to be AA of college football, and then single A is the MAC and MACtion on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it's going to be formatted like a minor league system like baseball. Don't you get excited about a kid and all innocence getting crushed under that?
So you're going to have, as I envision it, a 45-team SEC, because everybody's going to want to get into the premier.
They already are.
College league.
They already are.
It's about to become that.
Oklahoma and
There's
Texas.
going to be a super league, and I don't know what the plan is with this alliance between Big Ten, Pac-12, and ACC, other than just don't try to seal our schools. But it's eventually going to get there, and you're already seeing the ramifications of this in the transfer portal and recruiting as early signing day approaches tomorrow. Teams are opting for smaller recruiting classes. Let me get 6 blue chippers, and I'll see who's made themselves worth chasing in the portal.
But, Mike, you say Luke Doty, just go to Coastal Carolina. And let me ask you this. Then what do you do with Grayson McCall?
Oh, no.
Who was born in Indian Trail, North Carolina, always wanted to attend that school, decided to go, had other decisions, had other choices, and he went to Coastal Carolina.
You're so right.
I mean, how do you tell Grayson McCall that?
Right.
But Stugotz, eventually it's going to trickle down to somebody who just wasn't good enough.
We're not going to fix this. We're just going to feel bad for Grayson.
I can't wait to hear Stugotz.
Maybe the Oklahoma quarterback wasn't good enough. That's the problem.
I can't wait to hear you if your daughter happens to get benched at Northwestern.
Oh, forget it.
He's going to be the worst. The way he's going to rip the coach on
because someone transferred who didn't want to go to Northwestern in the first place.
If your daughter then wants to go somewhere else, I feel like you're going to feel differently about it.
In this scenario, he's saying your daughter's not good enough and gets benched, and you will have her.
How about you be good enough at the school you chose to go to? How does that sound?
All right, apply that to Luke Doty.
You
Doty
trapped
is
him.
good enough.
You trapped him. You trapped him.
Say-
No,
Luke
Doty
Doty.
went to South Carolina. He didn't transfer.
He's
Rattler, if Rattler wanted to be good enough and never have his
pinned.
job in
You got
jeopardy,
pinned.
let's go to the
You got
Gamecocks.
Just
You got
undid
pinned.
Doty did all the right
arguments.
things.
Not even
Doty did all
close.
the right things.
Doty did it the right way. Rattler's doing it the wrong
Yes.
way by
Yes.
being bad and transferring
Yes.
to a worse school and a worse football program. Why? Because he can't play for the good one.
Quitter.
That's correct. Greg Doty is what they used to call me, by the way. Spencer Rattler should have transferred to Florida A&M. The Florida A&M Rattlers.
That would have been all right.
Greg Doty.
That's
called
what they
him
used to
that,
call
yeah.
me. After the dodo bird. Greg Dodo. I liked Greg Doty better. I really did.
Greg Doty was great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The whole fabric of America is rending.
Yeah.
Stugotz is exactly right.
It's over.
What are you doing? I love that. Is that a bassoon? What is that sound?
I have a segue that I wanted to ask Stugotz, if that's all right with everybody. Stugotz, what was your favorite Fleetwood Mac song?
This is a good question because you want to set up. You don't remember what it was because we just found in the calendar that thing that we forgot about in the calendar, which is ask Stugotz what his favorite song is. His answer will be different 1 month from now. You allege that your favorite song by Fleetwood Mac was blank, and you don't know the answer.
I don't
We
even
already
remember the
pushed him.
blank.
We
Yeah.
already pushed him to an answer because Billy whittled it down, unbeknownst to him, to a single band.
Oh.
And you can't even name your favorite Fleetwood Mac song.
Did I have a favorite song a month ago? From
Your favorite
Fleetwood
song?
Mac?
Yeah, it was a Fleetwood Mac
Yeah.
song.
It was.
That you
We
said
all
was
do.
your favorite song ever.
Yeah, forget what it was.
Now you can't even remember. That's the funny thing about it. We asked you last month what was your favorite song. You made an answer.
Was it Tusk?
It was not Tusk.
Good song, though.
You and you not only that's thank you for that segue, Billy. Did it go the way that you wished that it would go?
It was not Tusk.
Oh, man. Fleetwood
Don't look it up. What are you doing typing?
I was looking up Grayson McCall's stats. What are you talking about?
Look at Stugotz in plain sight, sausage fingers trying to type in Fleetwood Mac
It
into
says
the Google
Grayson
machine.
McCall on my.
Even if he does, I wonder if he'll still get it right. Google.
But
Google.
set it up for the
I
audience.
won't.
Billy, set it up for the audience if I have not set it up well enough, because we had in the calendar, was this on air or an off air conversation that we were having about not being able to remember why did we have in the system asking Stugotz what his favorite song would be? Because you lie about even that, Stugotz. You can't remember.
Was it Little Lies? You jarred my memory.
You're not supposed to ask that as a question.
Do you not know what your favorite song is?
I don't remember what I said. I don't really listen to Fleetwood Mac. If I said anything positive about them, I was lying. I mean,
Seems
they're
like you
not
don't-
even in my top 10 bands. Not one of their songs is in my top 10 songs of all time.
Wow.
Seems like you don't listen to yourself either.
I don't.
How is that possible? How is that possible that
Marijuana.
that-
Retention. I'm burnt.
Look, see, this is green, green tan.
Looked green to me.
Oh, Jesus.
Ron, you seem like a good husband, and I'm struggling this holiday season to come up with gifts for my wife that aren't gifts she told me she would. Because she gives me a list, but I don't want to just get her the things that she puts on her list. I want a couple surprises. You seem like a good gift giver. Any advice for the husbands out there trying to surprise their
really,
wives?
you think that Ron it seems like a good gift
I mean,
giver?
in more ways than one, Dano.
I tell you, Chris, I don't know if you're the romantic type. I think most women really like romance. They like really specially thought out things. I would, you guys have to have a favorite romantic restaurant. I would put
Flanagan's.
A gift certificate to Flanagan's is what you're suggesting at the height of romance?
No, just do something that's really, like what I do for my wife. Well, nobody's going to tell her, but, I would pick a place like in the Keys. Like she loves what's that little island place? She loves these little, very romantic kind of like out of a movie type of
Jimmy
thing.
Johnson's Big Chill.
Oh, I love that place.
So what you're saying is try. What your advice, Ron, on gift giving is try. Try to be thoughtful. Try to understand your wife. Try to think of the things that might make her feel special, even if you yourself, Chris Cote, don't look at yourself in a mirror and say, I am sexy and
also
romantic.
not trying to break the bank.
Oh, yeah. Well, I understand. But, there's things that you can do without breaking the bank. Like, I'm going to tell you something I just did the other day, about 4 weeks ago. And this is the best, Chris, when you do it without any reason at all. Like I
just because gift.
Just because are the best.
Ron,
just best guy to gift.
Ron,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
look, we can do romance segment with Ron, but he's asking for the holidays. There is a specific reason that he's asking.
For the holidays, like I'd say, I would arrange for a hotel stay in a beautiful hotel overnight. Just give her I
actually like that idea. It is expensive, a little pricey, but that's actually not a bad idea.
And you can make it, and it's just for no reason. You say, listen, I want you to pick any weekend you want, and I want it to be our weekend, okay? But dinner,
goosebumps.
candles, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Because you know what? Women don't really like as much material gifts as they like experiences. The experience to create memories. That's what they want.
I would tell Chris this as well, Ron. Tell me if you agree. Do not get anything off the list she provided for you. Not a single. The list is a
wrong,
absolutely
wrong.
This is 20 years of marriage. I am telling you, the list is a trap. Okay, it is a trap. She wants you to think for yourself.
On your own.
Thank you,
It's a
Billy.
trap.
Yep, it's a trap.
Absolutely,
Trap
she wants you
list.
to think for yourself. But you better get her something off of that list too, buddy.
No.
No, nothing. She doesn't want anything on that list, Chris.
If anything, avoid everything on the list.
What's on the list? Do you have the list?
That's terrible advice from both Billy and Stugotz.
I'm still married.
That is terrible advice.
I'm
Is
still
right.
married.
It's terrible
but
advice.
There's simply no way that can be your plan. Ignore the list. That seems like a disaster. Like that seems terrible advice.
The list, I am telling you right now, it's a test and it's a trick. Okay,
Third line.
She wants nothing on that list. She
That's
wants
not
you
true.
to think for yourself.
She does want you
absolutely
to
not
think
true.
for yourself.
It's not true.
She doesn't
Stugotz.
trust you to
I'm
think
married,
for yourself.
I'm married 33 years, Stugotz. 33 years. And I can tell you it is very true. She doesn't expect everything on the list, but you better get her something on that list. Because if you think she's making the effort to make you a list for nothing.
Right.
The list is just a hotel and surprise me? I don't think so, Ron.
Well, this is the other thing. I'm not sure that Ron has given you great advice because you did say that you wanted to save some money on this.
Experiences, though, I'm with him on that. Get an experience. Like that's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
That's good advice.
Exactly. Do something together as experience.
Like maybe a
Brother, I'm
VIP
saying-
tour of the zoo. Like you never know. Like an experience somewhere. We'll see.
I can hook you up on that. You got the hookup for that.
Oh, gotta get out
Ron, now you got
Where we want it to end up. Thank you very much, Ron.
This is what
That
I
was
did.
one of Dan's first dates, and look where he is now.
Not only first date, also my honeymoon. I just gave it to Ron. I'm like, Ron, hey, put together an experience for me. That's exactly how that went. Put a little pressure on him. Ron, you handle the romance for me. You handle what it is. And next thing you know, I'm in craters watching migrations of thousands of animals. I can't give
Bottom
that
line
gift.
is she said yes.
I mean, how hard a gift is that to give? The idea of migrating animals. That's what Ron. So if you want to just say special experience with Ron Magill, he just handled your holiday. And furthermore, Chris, there is no one who can provide the experience. Does she have a favorite animal? Ron can sit and get you close up to all.
She likes elephants.
Oh, wow. That's big. We got a hookup for that.
Look at
Hook
that.
up for that.
Ron, can you explain to me? I was thinking of this the other day. Animals and how they show affection, and outside of fish kissing, is there a species of animal that specifically kisses as an affection?
Sure. I mean, a lot of the primates do. I guess that's very similar to us. But mouth tech, the touching of the mouths is very important to a lot of animals. Elephants with their trunks. I mean, their trunks are constantly exploring different things with their trunks. These are all, and cats, look at cats, look at dogs. I mean, they always come and smell and lick, and they try to get,
They lick
so
asses.
sensitive. Excuse me?
Don't dogs lick asses?
Hell yeah.
They do.
What's
Or
wrong with
sniff
that?
asses, either one.
No,
They
they
do
lick
that.
and sniff. Yeah.
Well, you're saying when my dog comes up to me and licks my cheek, that's a sign of affection?
He's just bonding with you. Yes, it is a sign of affection.
All right.
It is.
Let's not assume.
But
no, it is. It really is.
How about kissing, though? Animals specifically kissing.
Well, you talking about like French kissing, like sticking their tongues down each other's throat, that type of thing?
I'm talking, well, no animals make out. That's not it. That's only humans.
Yes and no. I mean, you'll see animals that do lick each other's tongues. They're licking at each other's tongues. They don't necessarily throw them down each other's throat and give them tonsillectomies, but they're exchanging that tongue fluid back and forth. You will see that a lot. And a wide variety of animals. And, it's just one of those things. The senses of animals are much keener than ours are. We have doused ourselves with colognes and perfumes and shampoos and stuff. We have lost kind of like that need for those pheromones that animals pick up. And they pick that up by smelling, tasting, licking. Those are all things that help identify individuals to each other. And, that's the chemistry that animals have with each other. And we have that chemistry too. I mean, I'm sure you all have significant others. They like a certain type of cologne or some certain type of perfume, and they hate other ones that maybe a previous mate of yours might have loved. And they say, "Oh, that's gross." It's all chemistry.
What do you regard as the warmest form of affection shown between animals?
Wow. It's a form of touching. It's always a form of touching. But, you look at cats, and what do cats do? Cats, they rub their heads up against each other. They'll do that to you too. That is a form of bonding. They rub their heads together. They don't lick or anything. They just rub their heads together. That is a type of affection. You see elephants always wrapping their trunks around each other. You see primates hugging each other. I'm literally hugging each other, falling asleep in each other's arms quite a bit. So, I mean, those are all forms of affection if we were going to equate it to what we see in human beings. But animals are affectionate with each other in many ways.
Ron, in the new episode of my podcast, we have on Miami Dolphins receiver Mac Hollins, and he talks about owning an 11.5-foot Sunglow boa. And I'm wondering, is that a smart thing to do? He also has, his wife is about to give birth, so there's going to be a baby in one room and an 11.5-foot boa in the next. Is that something you might recommend or not?
Before you answer that question, Ron Magill, if people want more information about that interview, where would they get it, Greg?
Well, it's the Greg Cote Show podcast, available wherever you get your podcast, Dan. Thank you for that.
What is it called, though?
It's called the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Ron, go ahead and answer his question about whether you should have a baby around a 12-foot snake.
Well, you shouldn't have a baby around a 12-foot snake. And that's not to say that you can't have the snake secure in a locked enclosure that makes it safe. But I always find that, there's always a chance snakes are escape artists. Plus now he's going to need to have a permit for that snake from Fish and Wildlife.
Really?
Yeah, I believe
Good job,
now
Dad.
that boas of that size, or at least anacondas and pythons, I know you need a permit on. And I think they're leaning towards boas. So he's going to need to find out about that.
What is a Sunglow boa compared to another type?
That is a form of an albino boa. It has kind of like that yellow coloration. These are all genetic mutations. People are now breeding these animals in captivity for their colors or lack of, so they create these kind of freaky looking things that you would never see in the wild.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Do you consider snakes escape artists?
Ron, over 1,000 manatees are dying because of pollution in the waters and unable to eat, so they're starving. And the Fish and Wildlife Service apparently might be lifting a ban as a experiment to allow people to feed these manatees. Is that a good idea? Or is that something that you would want to do?
I don't know if I would lift a ban to say let anybody who wants to feed a manatee, but I think that coming up with carefully monitored, structured feeding programs for manatees, at least in the Indian Lagoon River area up by Tampa, might be a wise thing because those are the animals that are starving. Indian River, the seagrasses are dying. They're not starving because they cannot feed. They're starving because there's no food to eat. So they are coming up with a program now to augment that because, like you said, they've lost over 1,000 this year already, which is unbelievable. And it's going to continue because of all the pesticide fertilizer runoff that's created these algal blooms that have killed the seagrass in the lagoon. So those animals are starving. And yes, I agree that you should have a supplemental feeding program, but I would not go as far to say, oh, we're allowing the public now to go feed manatees because you can't regulate what they're giving those manatees.
Ron, I just read a story about how the endangered African penguin just suffered a catastrophic event where 60 breeding African penguins were all killed by a swarm of bees. They stung these penguins to death. Can a swarm of bees do damage on like a herd of elephant?
It's a good question. They're not going to kill an elephant, but elephants are naturally frightened of bees. They use bees now to protect property in Africa. They put beehives in certain fence lines, and the elephants won't cross those fence lines because of the bees, which is really a phenomenal natural control to help control these conflicts between elephants and people. So, bees, of course, you've heard about the Africanized bees. So an African penguin, those are the bees that came here and caused these aggressive strains of bees. So yes, in large numbers, they are capable of killing human beings. They've done so. So it's something that, to always be aware of.
My girl.
Listen, I want to point something out to you guys because I can't believe you haven't brought it up to me. I've been waiting every week for you to bring up the story. I can't believe you haven't found it. Did you hear about the camel beauty contest in Saudi Arabia?
I was going to ask you the Botox.
There you go. I was waiting for this because this is such a great story. This is right up your guys' alley.
Well, go ahead. Tell us about it.
Well, listen, they had this camel beauty contest. It's like Miss Universe, but it's like Miss Camel Universe, where these camels go in and they have these strict rules. You cannot give your camels Botox or any kind of plastic surgery. And camels get disqualified every year because these princes spend a fortune doing Botox on the camels, doing certain eyelid lifts, doing face, plastic surgery on camels for beauty contests.
Cheating, right? Cheating?
Yeah, cheating. And they get disqualified. They get embarrassed in the entire, camel republic because they've done Botox on. Can you imagine what we have gone to when we're putting Botox on camels for a beauty contest?
That is about as absurd a story as you have told us. But
is there a big payday? I mean, people will do anything for a big payday.
Well, but he's saying
I knew you'd come up with that comment.
That camel is smoking.
You say that, but the Saudi princes are just having beauty contests because it's a way to spend money. Yes.
Well, they're winning a lot of money. I mean, there's a lot of money at stake for these contests, and it's a huge source of national pride. Camels are inherently one of the most gross. I mean, listen, I understand they've been beasts of burden for many years. I think camels are fantastic animals, but physiologically, they urinate all over themselves. They take their tail, they splash it between their legs when they're urinating, so they splash it in like a 10-foot radius of anything that's around them. Splash. Then they have a soft palate in their mouth. They make this huge burping sound. They kind of go, and that palate comes out of the side of the mouth. It looks like a huge tumor. It's horrific. And then they stink. They smell and they'll spit at you. They just have bad habits. Now, again, they're incredible animals. They're the only mammal, I think, that can live in the desert, lose 40% of its body weight, and still survive without water. This is an incredible animal. But beauty contest for camels, and now you're doing Botox and plastic surgery, eye lifts and ear tucks and stuff. Come on, man.
You think the camel is among the ugliest animals, even though you're not framing it that way. You're saying among the least qualified animals to have a beauty contest.
Exactly. Unless you're having a beauty contest amongst other camels. That, it's camels and camels, but these are humans having a camel beauty contest. I just don't get it. And the money they spend and the fact that this judging is so strict, they test them for Botox or whatever, but disqualified. You Botoxed it. It doesn't count. You Botoxed your camel. What has the world come to, brother?
Ron, I have some follow-up questions on Mike's story. Why were the bees attacking the penguins? How did this collision of things happen?
Those penguins must have gotten to an area that was close to the hive. These bees are very, very protective of the hive, and it turns into a frenzy. Once one bee stings, they release pheromones that the other bees pick up, and they go, we got to sting. Everybody got to sting. Understand, when bees sting, guys, that's their last act. That's a fatal act for a bee. When a bee stings, it dies afterwards. So this is something that they're doing as a desperation move to save the hive. Bees are kind of the epitome of making the ultimate sacrifice for the better good of the hive. They will go in there and sacrifice their lives in a second to protect the hive. So the fact is, those penguins must have come in close proximity of the hive. These bees felt that the hive was threatened. Once the first one said, let's go, the rest of them jumped in, and that was it.
But why would penguins end up in a circumstance? I just don't think.
By total mistake. They were going up there, and why do people get stung by bees? You're walking through an area, and all of a sudden, oh, geez, I walked by a hornet. You didn't realize it. And then it's too late. The penguins didn't go in there with malice in their mind thinking, I want to go get honey. Penguins don't eat honey. Okay. And they don't eat bees either. They eat fish. So they went in there, and it was totally by mistake. It was a tragic mistake that turned out to be fatal for 60 Penguins.
Ron, you shrug your shoulders all the time. This is something that I've been meaning to ask you about, because I shouldn't say you shrug your shoulders because it's something that you care about, but I don't want to normalize the idea of manatees starving to death because of what we've done with pesticides and algae blooms. Is there anything to correct or reverse what it is that we've done there in terms of damage so that we can have that water be as safe as it should be?
Well, they're doing it now. I mean, I know people like Audubon and other environmental groups are working with Tallahassee to pass some laws. They're negotiating with Big Sugar and a lot of these farmers up there, and they're working in the right direction, understanding what has just happened. And I think people are starting to see that there are consequences for this type of stuff. And I think they're making stricter rules and regulations as to the uses of those pesticides, when you can use them so the runoff does not occur at certain times of year that creates these blooms. So they are working in that direction, but it's not something that's going to be solved overnight.
But how dangerous is it going to end up being for manatees? Because we're also losing them here, right? It's 5 times the rate. Over the last 5 years, we've killed more manatees, and it's been alarming than we have in the previous, however much time before that, right? Like the numbers are a bit startling. How many manatees are dying?
It's been startling in the last couple of years, especially because manatees, actually their population started to increase quite a bit to the point where they took them off the endangered species list. And then there was a big push to actually take them off of the protected threatened species list, which the environmentalists say, you can't do that. Listen, the population's again going down in the wrong direction. So they were able to kind of stop that from happening. And if this continues in this rate, they're going to become an endangered species again. The problem is, Dan, we've got to have compromise. We've got to work because, you've got the boating industry saying, listen, we want to be able to run our boats here, but, okay, if you're going to run your boats there, you got to run them slow. You can't be running them through there like it's the Indy 500. Because in addition to the starvation, the rest of these killings are occurring basically from boat strikes, things like that. So we've got to change a culture. We've got to change a behavior. But I will say the fact that we're talking about it on a show like this, is the word is getting out. People are becoming aware, especially kids. And, there's an old saying that says, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I know that there's nothing more important to me than my kids. When it becomes important to them, it becomes important to me. And I think kids now, the young generation is making a big push, environmental change. And I'm optimistic that things are going to get better before they get worse for manatees. I think that, climate change combined with all of this runoff is creating a lot of problems, but I think it's headed in a better direction. I really do.
Ron, good talking to you. Thank you. We'll talk to you again next week, sir.
All right, Dan. Take care, buddy.
All right, guys. I got a fun game I want to play with everybody.
I love a game.
All right, everybody get ready. This might be a game that includes everyone needing a little pen and paper in front of them. But, you figure out for yourself whether you need it.
All right.
We're going to play a good old-fashioned game of I Was At.
Ooh.
We're going to see who has the best resume here. Here's an example. I'll play first.
Okay.
I was at Game 7 of the 1997 Marlins World Series versus the Indians.
I was also there.
I was at Peyton Manning winning his Super Bowl with the Colts in Miami versus the Bears. A lot of rain. Prince performed at that halftime show.
Yes. I left right after Prince performed.
That's your brag. I was at the Prince Super Bowl.
You left the game early, the Super Bowl?
No, I left right after Prince performed. It was raining.
Yeah, so you left the game early.
Yeah, I left the game was over at halftime.
Oh, really?
It kind of felt like it was over. I know Devin Hester returned the opening kick for a touchdown, right?
Yeah, that game was not over at halftime.
I imagine you faced zero traffic.
I had no traffic. The game, I felt like it was over at halftime. I was done at halftime. That's the week we had the Versace Mansion down here. I was up for 72 hours straight, and I could only handle half a Super Bowl.
Can we play another, sorry, Chris, just a quick sub game within your game? Let's play a game of I was there and I left. Because Stugotz has a lot of big games and he's left.
I was at a Super Bowl and I left. I was at the Ray Allen game and I left.
Cannot wait to inform you of this. It was a 2-point game at halftime.
Felt like it was over.
Writing was on the wall.
16-14.
Right.
Colts were up 2.
So
but one team had Rex Grossman, the other team had Peyton Manning. I mean,
I think the proper way to play this game is everyone needs to come up with their top 3. And we put everyone's top 3 up and see who has the best. So I'm going to go with Game 7, Marlins 1997, Prince performance halftime Super Bowl, and I'm going to go with Barry live in San Francisco, Barry Bonds' 600th career home run.
Wow, that's a good one.
So I'm going to put those 3, and I need someone to beat my resume of I was at.
I have a question. Can our I was at cancel out other people's I was ats? So You were at that game. Stugotz was at that game. Lewis was at that game. I was at that game. Greg was at that game. That game's not that
I mean, yeah.
special
A
anymore
game
within
7.
this room.
That's true. Okay. That's fair. But
That's all he has.
Your
Bill,
other
I mean.
two need to be, I feel like my other two are decent at least. So, But you're right. They do. If everyone was at that game, it does make it seem a
Your
little
other
less.
game that you thought was so special, Stugotz decided at halftime, I
Yeah.
don't want any more of this.
Right.
I'm not saying I have a great resume. I'm sure, Mike's been to a lot of shit. I'm sure he's got a good resume.
Your dad has covered a lot of sporting events. He is scratching things off the list right now. He had
But I
10.
feel like-
He keeps scratching things off.
I
He's
don't
been
feel
to
like
everything.
We're not doing this. I mean, I guess my dad might have been at
First
things.
Olympics,
I don't
I
know
mean.
if covering counts. I know that covering's kind of a cheat code.
Wow.
This is more as a fan, but I guess he might have been at some of these things if he wasn't working it, so it's tough to play this game. I don't know, man. It
How
just
about
it
this?
seems like it's a cheat code to be like I've covered
that
all
he was
these
working.
things.
I
Yeah.
understand.
No. You can't penalize me because of what I do for a living, right?
But you didn't choose to be at these things. You were assigned to these things.
Not only assigned, paid to be there.
How'd he play?
Thank you.
Billy, what's
I feel like we're stuck in the mud, so I'll give you guys one while
There
I
you
think
go.
on my list to get the ball rolling again.
Mike is really thinking here because Mike's been to a lot of sporting events.
Yeah, but I haven't been a super memorable one. So I think I'm gonna lose this quite handily.
I was at Monster Jam in either 2003 or 2004, where the Carolina Crusher crashed into the wall at Pro Players Stadium and the wall came down. I was at that.
Okay.
I guess this is sporting events. I was going to say, could we include concerts in this? That would improve
What's your
Mike's.
game?
Yeah, that's true. I know.
It's your game.
I'm just
yeah,
kind
you
of
tell
talking it
us.
out, though. I'm just talking it out.
I mean, no one else has given their resume yet, so right now it's just
I guess
yours.
a concert could be on here. It might not impress us that
But,
much.
yeah, but I don't think I've been to an infamous concert
Yeah.
that was talked about nationally. Like it's not like I was at Firefest.
I was
Right.
at the J-Lo and Shakira halftime show.
That's a big one.
That's good. I mean, you were kind of working it.
Yeah, it's pretty good,
Right?
Bill.
Yeah, you were working.
Well, I
It's
was
fine.
working, so I guess it doesn't count.
No. See, I'm
Also,
just...
Mahomes' only Super Bowl, maybe ever,
Hmm.
has lost his stuff.
That reminds me.
Everyone's just writing stuff down.
Well, I'm trying to think of the 3 best sporting events I've been to.
Mahomes went to a Super Bowl, I believe, the year after that.
No, it was his only win. He
Oh,
lost
the only
other
win.
one, yeah.
Okay. I
Tony-
didn't hear the win part.
Tony, do you have anything good on this front? Or what do you I see you
Yeah,
right-
I'm looking for my third one.
That's where I'm at, too.
Yeah, I've got the last game of the Orange Bowl, 48-0 loss
Wow, what a good one.
to Virginia. That was a momentous
kind
occasion.
of like good, for, like known for being a bad moment.
yeah, but it was
no,
still
it's memorable
it was
for
still
sure.
memorable.
You're a Virginia fan.
No, I'm not. But it was just something
What's
that
your
I
other
remember.
one? What other one you got?
LeBron's first title against the Thunder. I was there, Game 5.
Game 5. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I was,
good
I was
one.
there for that too, and I didn't even think it made the list.
Oh, boy.
That's-
Wow.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's just
All right, buddy.
Okay,
Not
well,
good.
I guess never mind.
People
I have
Brady's
my
Bowl
three.
on there.
I have my
All
three.
right, let's go,
whatever.
Greg Cody.
All right, Greg
What do
was
you
up
got?
first.
Okay. I was backstage talking with Jack White. I was.
Where?
What?
We're including
I
concerts.
think it was at Meisner
Also-
Park. It was
also-
when the White Stripes. It was like Meisner Park.
I think it
like
was
when you-
Meisner
Okay,
Park.
but we agreed that if someone else has experienced the same thing,
Yeah,
we
I was
cancel
there.
it out.
Yeah, I was there for that.
You
as
were
well.
there,
mine's canceled.
and I also
Yeah.
said hello to Jack White
Yeah.
backstage in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did he say hello back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little. And that was the extent
I mean,
of our
Dad,
conversation.
he barely said hello
How
back to
many
you.
did your back and forth go?
No,
Let's-
I actually had a conversation
That's-
with
No,
Jack White, as
debatable.
a matter of
How'd
fact.
the
I would
volley end?
never.
Where'd
I
it
would
go?
Never.
Give us a little summary of this conversation.
I can tell you exactly what it was. I was referring to Brendan Benson, who's his Raconteur's guitar mate, and I was talking
Double
about
B.
I was talking about how Brendan was very content not to be the superstar Jack was, that he was very happy with his little niche.
Which is probably not true.
And Jack White looks at me and smirks and says, "That's what we all say."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So that was my conversation with Jack
I love
White.
you speaking on
Wow.
behalf of Brendan.
That was good, though.
But there was a little back and
Yeah.
forth. I mean,
It was a little
yeah.
back and forth. And my other two are, I was on a nude beach in Barcelona with Edwin Pope. And my third one, although we were both clothed, I
Right.
probably need to mention
Which
that.
is creepy.
Why?
And my third one is I was on stage in Las Vegas with Elton John.
So 0 sporting events.
On stage with
What do you mean
Yes.
on
He
stage?
paid to be there.
I was on
that's
stage.
cool.
Did you sing?
We got, my wife spent, I don't even want to say how much, for 2 second-row tickets in Vegas to see the Red Piano show. And when you're in the front 2 rows for the encore, you're invited on stage. And so I was closer than Christopher and I right now to Elton's piano, and I was standing right next to Davy Johnston, the lead guitarist. like closer than Stugotz and I are right now.
Wow. So
Pretty
no
good.
sporting events for
Pretty
you.
good.
I've got another one, guys. I was at Andrew Luck's Orange Bowl win in 2011
Oh wow.
Oh, Jesus.
over Virginia Tech.
Who the hell cares?
You're playing like the opposite of this game.
By the way, Greg, not to bring down the mood, but you were also at one of the final concerts of one of the monkeys that recently passed away.
Oh my
huh?
God. Yes, that's a sore subject. Michael Nesmith just passed away, and I apologize on my podcast because I think on this show I was sort of poking gentle fun at Mike Nesmith, how that Monkees concert made me feel young because those guys were so damn old. And I said at the time that Michael Nesmith was very frail. He had to sit on a stool during half of the concert, and the poor guy passes away like 2 or 3 years later, or 2 or 3 weeks later. So I felt so bad. I feel so bad that I sort of poked fun at his frailty. So sorry, Michael. R.I.P.
All right, Tony, do you have your third yet?
I was
Didn't
at
mean to bring us
Andrew
down.
Luck. I was in the upper deck,
Right.
and I was absolutely blasted. I didn't know that the game was on until halftime. You were blasted. Yeah. I didn't know the game was on until halftime. I was like, oh shit, Andrew Luck. Kobe Fleener, by the way, 6 for 173 and 3 touchdowns that game.
Wow. Outplayed him. Yeah. All right, Billy, you have your.
Bobby Fleener was his tight end. So
I have no idea. He was?
yeah.
TE? He was the TE?
Yeah.
Billy,
And
do you
he-
have your
They
three?
played together again in Indianapolis.
No, come back. Go to Lewis. Come back to me.
All right.
Go to Lewis.
Let's go. Is Lewis even in there?
Yeah, he's there.
All right.
Lewis, you have,
Do you have a
anything?
microphone?
I was there. Yeah, he's coming.
All right.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
We're all working here.
This is what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, knee deep in the Game 7. Oh, Lewis is at Game 7. 97.
Ah, Game 7.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's hard to top a Game 7.
It really
So
is.
am I winning this? No, I guess my dad.
No, I think I'm going to win.
You haven't said any yet.
Well, I have my 3, though, and they're ready.
What are they?
I'm waiting for Mike's.
3 and only 3.
Oh, so you can top mine?
Well,
All
I don't
right.
know if I'm going to top yours. You're the person I'm most nervous
No,
about.
I don't have very many good ones. I was at Alex Gonzalez's home run in the World Series, but I think Billy was there too.
I was at that too, yeah.
Yeah, so that cancels out.
there.
Right. I was also there.
I was at Flair's 70th birthday party, and that was
That's
kind of
big.
cool.
That's
but
big, yeah.
and I
That's
was
very cool, Mike.
That's a good one.
actually.
and I was at the Undertaker's WrestleMania win streak ending.
Wow.
I was there
All
for
right.
that.
I was at the Nystrom-Tonelli game, Islanders' first Stanley Cup. Tonelli to Nystrom against the Flyers. It was the first of 4 Stanley Cups. I was there for that. Nassau Coliseum, I think it was 1981. So my dad, the entire season, we had season tickets, and my dad would sit me on his lap, okay? My older brother would sit in the other seat. And then this game came up, and my dad didn't know what to do because he only had 2 tickets. And Stanley Cup playoffs, there's no more sitting the kid on the lap. So my dad, being the great father that he is, dropped me and my brother off at Nassau Coliseum, let us both go, sat in the parking lot,
How old
listened to
were
the
you?
game on the radio, and then drove us home that night.
How
That's
old were
awesome.
you?
That is
What a
cool.
sacrifice, huh?
How old were you?
1980, I was like 8 years old.
How old is your
Born
brother?
in 72,
How old is your brother?
4 years older.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
a little better.
So he dropped off a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old alone.
Different time.
Right at the door, different time. Yeah, fend for yourself, Billy. I mean,
All right. So that was one. of
that was
the
one.
games,
Yeah.
Wait, bigger than the Alex Gonzalez game is I was at a Manchester City Liverpool game at the end of the festive fixtures that decided the title that year.
Wow.
It was a ball that barely didn't cross the goal line. It was a comeback victory from Man City, and they had a pretty good rivalry, and that's always going to be the game that they're remembered for. So
Is that
that's-
Man U?
No, Manchester City and Liverpool.
Man, see.
Alex Gonzalez was pretty big, though.
It was awesome.
Yeah, but we were all there. I mean,
We've done this.
anyway, Rams Titans. I was at that Super Bowl. Kevin Dyson was
That's
like
a-
an inch away.
You got a great one.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was in Atlanta. Yeah, it was freezing cold. I
Were
was
you
stuck there
working?
for a week after the game.
Were you working?
No, I went to that game.
Okay.
I
You
went
just
to that
went?
game. Yeah, I went. Hank
Just as a
Goldberg got
fan?
me a ticket, and I went to the game. Yeah,
Why were you stuck there for a week?
because the
was an ice
snow and the
storm.
ice was so bad, we couldn't get home until like I don't know Thursday or Friday after the Super Bowl.
Atlanta doesn't have the infrastructure for when it freezes over. So anytime they get an ice storm, it's particularly bad.
That's a pretty good one, though, right?
That's
Steve
one
McNair.
of the greatest Super Bowls ever.
Yeah.
I love that Super Bowl.
And then the last, the biggest event I've ever been to, 1 billion people will say they've been to it. I was actually there.
Woodstock?
No. Game 6, 86 World Series. Mets and Red Sox.
Yeah, you got the best list.
That's pretty good.
You weren't.
They were my dad, man. Dad's a Red Sox fan. Me and my brother are Mets fans. Dad uncorked a bottle of champagne, headed into the 9th inning. He has lived to regret that.
In the stadium? He
Billy, that was you
champagne
could bring
in?
anything into a stadium back then. Different time, Billy. 1986.
Shea Stadium in the 80s.
Yeah.
You could bring whatever you wanted, Bill.
Yeah, fire guns in the air.
I didn't like Shea Stadium. I went there.
It's a dump.
Yeah.
I think you actually could fire guns in the air in 1986 at
That's
Shea
right.
Stadium. in
Weapons were
Queens.
encouraged.
Those are my 3. I feel like I have a winning hand here.
Tony's got another doozy apparently over here.
Okay.
I've got another honorable mention. I was at the game, which was I want to say 2015. It was pre-Halloween Thursday night game, Dolphins Pats, where the snap went over Tannehill's head and was a safety. I was there at that game too.
Wow.
I thought you were gonna
Followed
say
the 86 World Series.
yeah. I thought you were gonna say
I was
when-
also at another preseason game, Eagles Patriots in Foxborough. It was
And what
very
happened?
exciting. They won. Took the Patriot train back, by the way. Really tough. I don't know. I know Greg's been on the Patriot train, obviously covering the beat and stuff, but it is a bear. I think I was at the. I was also at Game 7 of the Celtics and Heat to get to the championship
I was
game.
at that game.
Was
You're at
anyone
that
at
game
Game
too.
6
Good
though in Boston? Anyone go to that game?
No.
Greg?
Yeah, I did go to that game.
Whoa!
Jesus.
You went
Yeah.
to the LeBron Stair game.
Yeah, I was at that game. I was at the Dolphins'
game.
first game in '66,
Wow.
if that counts.
Greg, your list isn't bad.
I was on a. I
No,
was
he has
on
the
a.
best list.
I was on a tennis court with Riley Opelka. I mean, I've been everywhere, man. Like
I was
Johnny
on this
Cash.
one too. That one doesn't count.
I've been everywhere, man.
I was at a Borg McEnroe U.S. Open final, Mike. Borg McEnroe.
That's really good.
I know. I don't remember what year it was, though. Flushing Meadows. You can
wow.
shoot guns in the air.
Yeah, you could.
Do you guys have a game that you regret leaving? Like you went to it,
No,
you
we
regret leaving?
Never really left games, and you're the
Oh,
Michael
everyone's
Jordan
left
of
a
this.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's left a game, Mike.
No.
I left an Inter Miami game earlier this year, and they won in like the 90th minute after I left. That's about as good as I can do with that.
You don't have a great game that you left,
No,
and
I
it wasn't
generally-
great at the time, but
I
you
don't
regretted
leave.
it later.
If shit's close, I don't leave generally.
I have 2 of them. Like I have the best resume when it
Yeah,
comes to that.
an all-time
I
Miami
left a
Florida
2-point
game.
Super Bowl at halftime, and I left Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Royale. It's pretty good, right? I'm proud
That
of it.
Florida Miami game that you left too is an all-timer.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
That's a Brock Berlin PF Chang's game.
Yeah, I left that game at halftime. I went to PF Chang's. I sat at the bar. I watched the second half there. I had lettuce wraps. I had a drink. I think I had Mongolian beef.
Those
and
lettuce wraps, so good.
Oh, those are great.
I don't
lettuce
like
wraps.
I don't love
Yeah.
those little crunchy things in the lettuce wraps. You know what I'm
I think the
talking about?
crunchy things make
I
it.
I avoid those things. Try
No,
to-
you have to. Those are that's texture, man.
What do we love about the lettuce wrap? It's the cold lettuce mixed with the I
It's a
guess
sauce.
is it really?
Sauce that you just put on top of it.
I think it's not,
Someone asks you how spicy do you want it, and then they add.
You
Yeah,
feel like
it's
you're
great.
you feel like you're eating healthy.
Right.
It's called lettuce wraps.
It's got to be Boston lettuce, though. It's got to be the perfect hold.
Yeah.
No crunchy lettuce, right? We don't
Cold
want the
with the
iceberg.
hot-
You don't want the iceberg.
I like
Yeah.
the lettuce to be cold and the chicken to be very hot.
Very much so.
I think that's what makes it, right? And the sauce. And those crunchy things.
Yeah.
What are those crunchy things?
Little circles, right? The little like.
Oh, the white things.
Oh, you're thinking of. You're thinking. I
White
think
fried
from.
noodles.
What's the fast food Asian place that has lettuce wraps? I know we're getting caught in the.
The
mud
the
here.
round white things are water chestnuts.
Are you talking about?
Payway has the white things
That's
in
the
their
PF
lettuce
Chang
wrap.
spinoff, right?
I feel like PF Chang's doesn't
PF
have
Chang's
those white
Bistro.
stringy things, do they? Does PF Chang's have those white stringy things? I don't think so. I think you're thinking of Payway, Stugotz.
Those are bean sprouts. Those white springy things.
I think the '86 World Series certainly tops the list. Now, on stage with Elton John's really cool,
Mm-hmm.
but
Game
Stugotz-
6, 86.
Stugotz definitely had the best.
Barry
one.
Bonds 600, no, decent.
That's decent.
I mean, the Andrew Luck game.
You remember those seats, Christopher?
Yeah. Didn't Dan get us those seats through like Moises Alou?
I think it might have been through Mike Lowell. I can't remember.
We were right behind the on deck circle.
Yeah.
For that 600th home run. Pretty cool.
Anyone go to the Bartman game? Greg, you were there. Greg, you've covered everything.
I was not at the Bartman game. As a matter of fact, I was not. No, I wish I had been. I was at the. Anybody remember the Dolphins Leon Lett game in Dallas?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was there.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
And great one. A sneaky good one. Yes.
Yeah, and the thing I remember most about that game, other than the fact that it was snowing, was back then the original Dallas Stadium was one of the last stadiums in the NFL where there was a beer tap flowing in the press box during the game. So all these, and I was reasonably young at the time, younger, but all these older curmudgeonly sports writers were like drinking nonstop during the game while they were typing their stories. It was pretty cool.
A different
I
time.
was so jealous. It was a different time. I think there might have been smoking. That was early 90s, right? Like 92 or something? Could there have still been smoking in the press box then?
Yeah, possibly.
It could be, yeah, because that's what I remember. Yeah.
I'm guessing there probably was still
Yeah,
smoking
I
in the
think there
press
still
box.
was,
I think you
yeah.
could smoke in the movie theaters up until like 95.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right to me.
What do you mean?
I went to movie theaters in '95. I don't remember ashtrays being part of the equation.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Not the
Look it up.
theaters that I was going to, but
When did they stop smoking on airplanes?
I remember getting on planes that had ashtrays on them, but there wasn't smoking on the planes that I could remember. But I remember the planes having ashtrays.
Yeah.
Are there even ashtrays in new cars now?
No,
No?
no.
Well, you use it for change, I guess, right?
I don't know. I can't. I'm like
I mean, I still use it for ashes.
my car has an ashtray. I never use it, but it has one.
Guys, the last time you were fully able to smoke on a flight, and this is when the FAA banned it, was 2000.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying, Mike.
about
That
that?
is a sunner.
Yeah. But Mike, that's what I'm saying. I think like 95, people were still smoking at the movies. They were.
I
Like
just
in
don't-
the theater.
I just don't have any memories of someone sparking up at a movie theater. It's just now you
Maybe it
can
was
pull
just so
from the
apparent that you didn't even think about it.
Yeah,
It doesn't even
possibly.
register.
I remember smoking sections and non-smoking.
That was
at-
so weird.
at restaurants.
It's right next to each other. Like the guy's smoking a heater and I'm eating a chicken sandwich. It's like right there. Weird. Weird times.
Different time.
I was at the Great Wall in China with Michael Jordan.
Oh, this guy.
How did that happen?
I win the game because I'm
Big
shot walks
in.
Nobody likes to show off.
It's such a long wall.
Tony was at a preseason game.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer Tim Kirkshin's going to be on with us tomorrow. Stugotz, the return again of Kirkshin. I got to think he's the most popular person in the history of our show. People getting excited. It's either him or Ron McGill or Greg Cote. I don't know. And Greg Cote.
Maybe Stan Van Gundy. Maybe.
No, I don't think
Really?
I don't think Stan is nearly in the
audience loves
class.
Stan.
Not nearly. Tim Kirkshin makes his return, which means, and we need your help on this. We've asked for your help. During the pandemic, this stuff was tough. We didn't have Kirkshin. We moved from ESPN, and we didn't do enough looks like this year. And March Madness is approaching, and we need the audience's help to make these funny looks like for our looks like game, because we are well behind and you like to compete creatively amongst each other. Adam McKay, comedy writer for a generation, has been trying to make the tournament. He's sent me dozens. He's never made the tournament. He has sent me dozens because he loves this game so much. Because the audience has been trained to be consistently better with the looks like game, but usually we have an entire year of content and weekly reps with Tim Kirkshin. So now we've got to gorge the whole thing. We need your help at LeBatard Show. Please start thinking creatively. One of the things we're proudest of around here is that the audience gets clever and creative competitively. And so we need your help headed into March Madness to bolster this tournament, because the pandemic hit us hard in a number of different places, and this is one of them. But Tim Kirkshin makes his return, so get to work, audience, overnight on Clever, and hit us at LeBatard Show wherever it is you are. One thing I wanted to get to that we did not get to yesterday is I wanted to celebrate publicly Punter S. Thompson of our industry, Pat McAfee. because this dude decided to do something in his sport that you do not see. We got somebody leaving early he could have done it for 5 more years, leaving early because entertainment was calling him and punting was, I don't know whether he felt like he was settling for it or what, but punting was not invigorating enough for him. I'm going to bet on my personality. I'm going to bet on my ability to manipulate media arms, whether it's Barstool or ESPN or wrestling, to increase my brand and my reach. And I am going to go from punter to guy who figures out how to navigate this medium and this space and do what maybe 8 or 9 people in America are allowed to do. And to do it now commanding a price tag that is 3 times what ESPN is paying Stephen A. Smith because of all the game changing that's been done in this industry. And now he's got his own power, his own influence, his own brand. And what a ballsy bet that dude made on himself.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has cashed it with an amount of money. And I don't gather from him that that's necessarily how he measures success. I gather that he seems very happy from whatever it is that you're looking at on the outside, happily married and living his best life. But he just cashed an enormous bet on himself that nobody makes.
The money helps. I mean, I'm not saying Pat McAfee was unhappy without the money, but the money, and no damn, but cashing in on a bet always feels good. He bet on himself and he cashed in a way that has to feel tremendous for Pat McAfee.
It is rarely rewarded like that when you go from what may have been in your mind somewhere, the construct of whatever the top looked like, getting to punting in professional sports as a guy who's an entertainer and had a big personality when he was a punter, and then leaving it behind. It was, you can't say he was in his prime, but he was coming off of, like, he was an elite punter.
Mm-hmm.
Pat McAfee is 34 years of age right now. He could still be in the league,
right?
If he wanted to be.
Especially
another
that
6
position
years
in the league. And this is in broadcasting, whether it be, so as an NFL player, he made millions of dollars. In wrestling, he's made millions of dollars. And now, as a sports personality in the media game that's walked away from ESPN and Barstool, those are 2 very difficult places to walk away from and carry your audience. Forget building on it, just carrying your audience. And he's done that, and now he's getting paid to the tune of $30 million annually. Oh, he's a badass.
Nobody in history has punted on punting more successfully than that man.
I believe that can be said accurately. Congratulations. You were lined up the entire time wanting to say that.
Thank you.
And you want applause now. And thank you. So you're just accepting flowers from the audience.
Right.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. He punted on punting more successfully than anyone.
Anybody in history. Anyone. Name 10 other punters.
What do you think of my nickname for him? I like that one. Punter S. Thompson. Not really.
That's not bad.
In our industry, a guy that's able to think about what it is that he just did, betting on himself, using ESPN and Barstool as springboards to, I'm going to leave punting because I believe that I can create an empire, and he's done it in a few years. And one of the things that I'm saying to you about that he seems happy from the outside, and you can say it's about money, but I believe that part of his popularity comes from the contagious likability that you will find in somebody who just seems to be happy about where they are in life. Just gratitude exudes from that dude, and charisma exudes from him, and he can move from, as a punter who used to wear a face mask and you couldn't see his face, from the confidence of performing in wrestling to performing daily, in this stupid playground.
So he conquered punting, moved on from that, is several years retired from that profession, got into wrestling, and not just as he's the color analyst on Friday Night SmackDown now, but he actually got in the ring and earned people's respect. He's good on the promo mic, and he's a very good podcast host. All this while only being 8 years older than current University of Miami punter Lou Headley.
Greg said name 10 punters. Not so easy.
No.
I thought it would be easy.
Put it on the
Not
poll.
that easy.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show,
I can
Guillermo.
name 30.
And Ray
really?
Guy doesn't
Top of
count.
my head.
I mean, Reggie Roby, Ray Guy, Tom Tupa, Sean Landetta. I'm done.
You're gonna go. You're gonna just do
Forgetting about Adam.
Mike said he could do 30 off the top of his head.
man,
old
30.
punters, or okay.
Yeah, of all time? All-time punters.
You can name 30?
Can I go college and pro?
No.
Pro.
No?
Pro.
Okay.
Pro punters,
Just pro.
CFL only, Canadian League.
All right, we're going to do 30 year. We're going to do 30 punters.
John Kidd.
All right, that's one. Give yourself fanfare because otherwise this is going to become boring.
So I think the best way to do this is just go by singular teams and seeing how many I can name from that team.
No, we don't want you to flex your punter
Brandon
muscle.
Fields.
Just name 30 of them.
What, you can name all Dolphin punters?
I mean, that's pretty good.
Name a Bills punter. I mean,
what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
Moving the goalposts is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just
Let's go Sean Landetta, Mitch Berger, Chris Kardaki.
That's 5. I think he's going to be able to do this, and I don't want to keep doing
Shane
this.
Leckler. Dustin Colquitt.
Oh, he's in trouble.
He's reading off the internet. Cheater.
Brandon Colquitt.
Cheating it.
The Colquitts.
Yeah. Did I mention Andy Lee?
You did not, but I don't want to do this for the rest of time.
Well, he's only got 22 to go.
A third of the way there.
All right.
I love seeing these videos from Marquette King of him just punting in
Mitch
neighborhoods.
Berger.
Punting in neighborhoods, 78 yards. And
repeats.
Oh, I said Mitch Berger
I
already?
don't think you said Mitch Berger, did you?
I hope I didn't. Pat McAfee. There's Rigoberto. What's his last name? They had a Rodrigo and a Rigoberto.
Wait a minute. You can't stop on Rigoberto. What's his last name at 12? And then I don't want to keep doing this anymore.
Mike's like, damn, I wish I said 20.
I am wishing I said 20.
Well, what happened? I thought you were just going to go by team. I thought you were going to go.
Done. I mean,
It's hard.
At least we picked a fascinating position.
it's hard. Yeah. It was a great point by you, Greg. I mean,
Brandon Wing.
But that's it. We're going to get halfway there and you're already searching.
All right, who can name 10 long snappers?
Yeah, okay, great.
Ryan Pointbrand was a long snapper.
No, I don't
Ed
want to
Perry
do this
was
anymore.
a long snapper.
No.
that former magician. What was his name? Denenboss.
Yeah.
Denenboss and then a slur at the end? Just a slur.
Did I say Jeff Philadelphia Feagles?
Wow. You had not said Feagles. But you're already in the pass punters? You're right. I would have guessed
30 punters.
When you said
you want me to go active?
Well,
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
I thought that you were going to be able to do that though. I thought that you were bragging about I can do 30 punters because I thought you were going to do the whole league.
Ooh. Tress Way, which would have been a great name if he were actually a place kicker because his first name means 3 in Spanish.
Can we do this, please? Because I wanted to ask you guys a question as the Manning cast takes last night off. And I just love the deal Eli and Peyton made to just be a popular thing like 9 weeks of the season because they've got vacation plans or whatever.
When they feel like it.
No, and the power in it and the flex in it and Disney having
Chris Cluey.
Disney having to eat it has been a marvel to watch. The Mannings using their power to just come over here for a second. Hey, we'll grab millions of viewers. And then with our fame and our ability to just put people on air, we won't really know what we're doing in terms of a production. But we'll just come over here, visit, dominate your market, not unlike McAfee. Oh, you want to see what the punter can do? Wait till you see what Manning can do with the power of the quarterback position. Okay.
I still had Tom Tupa. I didn't use that one yet.
18.
I gave you Tupa.
I mean, but Tom Tupa is one of the most famous.
He is.
What I wanted to ask you guys around the framing of that.
Ray Guy.
19.
Hall of Famer.
Are you sure it's 19 and not over, or are you just estimating? I think I gotta
like to have fun.
The reason I was thinking about this is because yesterday, what is the name of that data guy, Steve Carnecki, that I didn't know who he was yesterday? And you guys asked me, how do you not know who that is? Not just from the election stuff. One of the things you guys were saying is he's been on Sunday Night Football for a long time, and now to study the playoffs the rest of the way, he's going to be on the rest of the season. You guys were mystified. How could you not know who that is? And it's because I realized when you guys asked me that question.
Brian Moorman.
That I probably haven't watched the framing on football, whatever the framing is. I'm always watching the product, but the framing I have not paid attention to in, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, where I don't think any of the infomercial around the product is very interesting, even as you have these Sunday features like Let's Get Into Their Lives and all the stuff that we do. And the thing I wanted to ask you, because the Mannings can come in and out and just be like, exert their power over this. Like, what? Oh, ESPN, you thought
Matt Bosher
that they had a big production, but they can't just get comedians, famous people, active people to just show up with them. And so they're talking to Tom Brady, and they're using what McAfee has just realized. He's going to do it with charisma and empire building. Peyton can have, and LeBron can make these things pop up easy if they want to exert some influence over the framing of football. And what I wanted to ask you guys is, how much of this crud are you guys watching? Not as background noise that just happens to be on your Sunday, but that you're really watching and paying attention to the hours of coverage that surround what you're doing on Sundays. Are you guys watching that? Because I realized in asking that question, I'm not paying attention to almost any of it.
I stopped doing that when I got really into soccer, because soccer usually bleeds into the pregame show, and I'd rather be doing that. But now with additional TVs, I do keep an eye out for when Jay Glazer goes on the television, because he did it again this week. And we barely touched on this last week.
Because he has information.
He doesn't want to go to Twitter with it. He saves the goods for television, which is kind of old schooly of him. He provided such great detail to the Urban Meyer stuff. He didn't break the Urban Meyer story, but he gave you revelation. He spoke to Urban Meyer. So anytime I see Jay Glazer on the television, I try to tune in if I'm not totally locked in on it.
Okay, but you're a crazy cocaine person, consumer of these things.
This is like,
It's not nice to say about Glazer.
Say any of that. I'm not. I may be crazy, but also that makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
My point is that you want to consume as much as efficiently as you can, whether it's audio books. My point is that you've got 10 televisions because on one of them Jay Glazer might pop up, and you're consuming this stuff in a way I don't think the average person.
You're right. On a football Sunday, I've got 4 screens open.
Okay, and what I wanted to ask Billy and Chris about this, Roy as well, how much of this stuff are you watching? The programming around the thing that you love? Because the Mannings have something. When I said to you, oh yeah, do it differently. Do it. Yes, when I saw that, and I'm like, no matter what the production is, what the complaints are. Oh, wait, you guys have an idea for something that's different? Everyone else is doing the framing the same exact way.
Brett Bartholomew.
I'm asking you guys if you're still consuming it the way that they're framing it for you, because I think the attention spans of young people require something a little bit better than just goop as framing. They're going to want, hey, where's Jay Glazer? Where's the discerning stuff that I can find? Where's the good stuff?
Sam Cooke.
The info.
I do. There is just something simple. I do like the pre. Like, I'll throw on Saturday and Sunday mornings, College Game Day and NFL Countdown. Like, I'm not sitting there and digesting every second of it, but it's just on in my house. We'll do a little cleaning. It just makes me feel normal to have those things on.
It gets you in the mood for football.
Yeah, like, so I am watching those things, but to your point, I'm not really like blown away by them. They're just kind of white noise on in the background.
I don't listen to any of that stuff anymore, to be honest with you. And frankly, I might not even watch the game unless I predicted it and I'm following my prediction, or I'm invested in it because of fantasy football. The game itself, I care who wins, but I don't need to sit there for 3 hours and watch it. I just don't consume nearly as much sports as people might think.
Yeah, when Claire was born, that stopped. Once you have kids, all that's you just dedicate your TV to kids programming at this point. Like, the game is ancillary.
Jamie Gillum.
Oh, nice one. You spend as much time as you can, Scottish Hammer. You spend as much time as you can right up until game time with your kids. You're right about that, Roy. I just have it on as like ancillary noise in the background. But it's always been like that for me. It just gets me in the mood for football.
Yeah, I don't need Rob Riggle. What is he going to teach me? You know what I mean? Like, no offense to Rob Riggle. I'm sure he's a great talent, but how much of that do I need?
Matt Turk.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Riggle is really handsome.
This is getting difficult.
Didn't the Turk punt as did Reggie Roby while wearing a watch? Didn't the both of them wear a watch while punting?
I remember Matt Turk. I think he once dyed his mustache bleach blonde, and he was one of the last holdouts on the single bar.
Rob Riggle was sneaky good looking in person. Like, I know we all think of Rob Riggle as good looking, but when we saw him in Lake Tahoe, like, I got close to him.
A giant.
I'm telling you, I got close. He didn't know who I was, but I got close to him.
How big was he?
Not that big. He's not that big, and he just like he's more chiseled than you expect. He has a nice jawline. He's got the nice salt to pepper ratio in the hair. He's like, I don't care. I didn't really like dress up for this, but I still look cool. He just is giving off all the great vibes.
How do you smell?
Good.
I was going to ask the same question. Shockingly enough, I imagine a scent to wriggle and it being both masculine and something delightful.
I imagine his cologne's called Cool Water. I don't even know if there's a cologne out there called Cool Water.
He doesn't. He does not smell like Cool Water.
Okay.
What does Cool Water smell like?
I don't know. It just.
Like
What does he smell? Tony, did you get close enough to smell Rob Riggle? I'm sorry.
I did,
tried
Dan.
to get through it straight and I couldn't even
An
do it.
unexpected question.
Tony strikes me as a 5 cologne man. I feel like
Like I
Tony
have
has,
5, or I have 5 on at the same time.
No, you have 5 different ones that maybe you rotate.
I do. How'd you know
amongst.
that?
Yeah, see, I know.
Wriggle smelled well, like really good, and the reason why I know is because when the Magician was around the table and CeCe Sabathia and everybody, Justin
Work in the
Timberlake,
room. Work in the
everybody was
room.
really excited to be there. I stood next to Rob Riggle and I was like,
I stood next to Greg Maddox during The Magician.
Wow.
you know what Wriggle smells like? He smells like polo green, like a very just like luxury kind of smell.
That was
Very
Yeah.
regal.
that was the play in Lake Tahoe to like kind of just get next to the famous people. They were all watching Magicians, so I walked up to the Magician and was like, "Oh, I'm interested in this," but really I was just wanting to stand next to Greg
You didn't
Maddox.
bump elbows with any of them? Just
No, I did. When the-
Well,
when-
Greg Maddox, I don't imagine smells.
No, he didn't smell
I don't think of him smelling
Not bad. I
well.
want to get out there with that.
Well,
Andy
Maddox
Lee,
was sitting there with a-
I'm sorry, but these names are escaping me, and I must interrupt you before I forget Andy Lee.
Second time. I mean,
But Billy's right.
I think you already used
When
it.
the
But,
jo-
but that was before we were counting.
When the trick came to its fruition and the trick happened, that was the moment of like, you see that? That was great. Little elbow bumping with him.
Did you do it with the professor?
No.
Ooh, hold on. It was a Weatherford, but I'm unsure of the
Steve.
first name.
Steve Giants.
Hey,
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
but No,
Doesn't
you can't
count.
beat
Doesn't
me
count.
to it.
Doesn't count.
No, doesn't
No,
count.
bullshit.
No.
Steve
Sorry.
Weatherford
I was
was
gonna
easy one.
find it.
Steve
beefy.
Weatherford
Oh,
was
I was
jacked.
gonna
an easy
find it.
one.
That's an easy one.
That's
I didn't
easy
see
one.
any of you guys go off the
We're-
top
we're
of your
not
head with
helping.
a
As soon as you
Weatherford.
said
No,
Weatherford, I said Steve.
Yeah, I was gonna do it.
Wrong.
No, that counts.
No Weatherford.
What?
I'm the commissioner of this punting contest. Weatherford does not
Pat
count.
O'Donnell
Dan finished the name.
Started. the
went
name.
to the U. Matt Bosher went to the U. Ryan Monroe didn't make the squad, so he doesn't count.
Can you
because
guys
he was a
Google
Charger.
for me shirtless Steve Weatherford, please? Because I believe he is the most jacked of the punters. I also believe Matt Turk at one time. Jay Feely tried to compete for this too. All these guys were trying to get extra jacked so they could show off their biceps, and Matt Turk was one of them.
Turk was one of them. He never wore a watch, by
Holy
the way.
crap, Steve Weatherford without his shirt on.
The watch.
Didn't Turk's brother also punt? The punting Turk brothers?
I think there was a Turk that was a long snapper.
I don't think there was a punting. There were two punting Turks.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
flying
believe.
punting Turk
No, there
brothers.
were no flying punting Turk brothers. I believe you're
there were.
making that
Yeah,
up.
there should have been.
There
I
should
think
have
Turk had a
been.
brother, though.
I'm
I did.
pretty
Yeah.
sure I've named 30.
It wasn't the Turk's brother a tight end? I feel like Turk's brother was not also a punter. I did
I
not
have no
think they were
idea.
the flying punting Turk brothers.
They were.
It says here Wriggle
They
6'2".
formed an island, Turks and Caicos, I think is what it was called. The Turks brothers did.
Matt Turk's brother, Dan Turk, played in the NFL.
Thank
He
you.
wasn't a punter. He wasn't a punter.
He was a center, I think.
Yeah, he was a
flyer?
center.
He wanted to be a punter.
Long snapper.
R.I.P. to Dan.
What?
I mean, I just felt I brought him up and he
Really?
passed away in 2000.
Oh my
Really?
God, really?
Good job, Chris.
Really, you
Yeah,
ruined
really.
it
Should I have just
all.
let it go?
Terrible.
Yes.
I killed Michael Nesmith, now you're killing a punter.
What?
Been dead.
Well, he wasn't a punter either.
Yeah,
Oh, he wasn't?
Center. Yeah.
Oh, that's the guy who wanted to be a punter.
I want to kill you.
Turks and
Whoa,
Caicos.
wait.
That was a little harsh. Huh, Roy?
Violent. Yes.
That was a little
very-
harsh.
Sorry, I love you.
Yeah.
Do that to your dad?
Get me rewrite on that will.
Family.
You have no idea what anything about your will.
Oh, I know more than you'd like to know.
I feel like I know more about your will than you do.
Okay. Well,
I have
where
a
there's a
copy.
will, there's a way.
I have a copy of it. I really do. I really do think I have more information about his will than he does. My mom and me have been in contact over the last. She's like, "Your dad's getting old. It's time to talk about this stuff."
They're
Wow.
talking
you had the
about.
talk. You had
They're
the talk.
talking. The family's
Yeah.
talking about your death.
I had no idea.
Oh my God!
What are
this
they
is
saying?
shocking
She
revelation.
sent me a copy. She's like, "JIC."
What are we getting?
That was J.I.
Seriously?
Just in
Seriously?
case.
Come on, man.
It's just disrespectful.
Well, now we've got to talk
Well,
about it.
the other
now.
sibling can't be trusted, so she's like, "Just in case, we need
You're
to
the
make sure."
responsible one?
I am.
Wow.
Hold on.
Before I die, I'm
no.
going to take a big shit in the seat of my car just so you won't want it.
That could get cleaned.
It's going well.
Why are you lashing out just because they're
I mean,
Why are you
he's
shitting
burying
in
me.
your car?
I don't know.
Todd Sauerbrunn. Yes.
Oh, I played against him. Ward Melville lacrosse back in the 80s.
This allows us a portal into Crazy Uncle Dick, because if you think Greg Cody's weird, wait till I introduce you to the Cody brother, the older one that hasn't been
The
domesticated.
much older one.
The domesticated, the undomesticated, untamed Dick Cody.
This is so Dick Cody, Christopher. Guess it was a 145-yard par 3. Guess what club he used?
Driver.
5 wood.
Only Mike uses drivers on par 3.
So this might replace the greatest shot that Stugotz has ever seen. This might replace it because
Well,
I
don't
didn't
know
see
about
it.
yeah, you didn't see it, but that might be the greatest shot in show history if we can
No,
get
no. That is Greg Cody's shot. It will never change for
Thank
the rest
you.
of time.
Thank you.
I see the floor.
I mean, Mike was there.
That shot was
It
amazing.
really was. It never left the ground.
Him and Tom Brady have two of them, quite randomly, have two
Yeah.
of the greatest shots I've ever seen. It's
That's right.
It's Spieth, Cody, and Tom Brady.
Yeah. What company do they keep, huh?
Tell us how strange Crazy Uncle Dick Cody is, the much older brother of Greg Cody,
Yeah.
lifelong bachelor.
Right. I don't know. Is he that strange? I mean, you know who could answer that is my wife. I mean, she's the one who really thinks he's
She gets
strange.
really annoyed with them.
Yeah. But I've learned to live with it. He's a great guy, my brother. Love him like a brother. I mean, he's fantastic. I've known him my whole life, by the way.
Because my uncle's the kind of guy that like they'll be watching a show on Sunday night and like everyone's focused on it, and my uncle will just start whistling.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
like my mom will be like just like seething.
guy.
Right.
Like they're just
Or
while
back,
he's watching, he's still digesting the show, but just whistling.
yeah. And back before our dog died, it would be like a dramatic moment in this show that we were watching, and he would start just randomly talking to the dog, talking over dialogue. And
He also goes to sleep at 5 p.m. every night and wakes up at like 3 a.m.
and doesn't listen. When you talk to him, you'll tell him. Sometimes I feel like just saying, "Hey,
I think
Dick,
he listens to the pod though, so this stinks.
Well, hey, Dick, I'm thinking of getting my leg amputated," and he doesn't even listen. And so he'll ask me a minute later, "You getting your leg amputated?" And, Dick, I just talked to you about that.
It's like talking to yourself.
Yeah.
I cannot get fast enough to Crazy Dick Cody's reenactment of what just happened on his hole
He's
in
not
one.
answering. He's
No.
too busy celebrating that hole in
He's
one.
buying everyone drinks.
Yeah.
I was about to
This
say.
is like happy hour time for
He's
him.
getting ready for bed.
That's right.
I mean, 5 p.m. Who
Right.
the hell goes to sleep at 5 p.m. other than somebody working some crazy overnight job?
Well, he's up at 4. I mean, half of the emails I get from him are like 3:48 in the morning.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at LeBatard Show. Have you ever gone to bed for the night at 5 p.m.? Ever. One time. Never mind every night.
You've had to do it. I think we've all done it.
Maybe,
right?
maybe
Like
we've
just
all,
a long weekend.
maybe-
Sunday comes around. It's 5 o'clock. You crash for the night. Right?
Maybe we have all done it. I don't know. I don't know anybody who does it every night. Who's got to wrap
Who
it up?
lives by
that
it,
means you're
right?
having dinner at what, 2? Is that because that becomes lunch? Does it not? Or are you just eating? Are you eating a meal at 4 p.m. and then just going right to bed at 5?
I think if you go to sleep at 5, like I go to sleep at 11, eat dinner around 7:30. So if you're going to sleep at 5, then dinner's like 1:30. Are you shaking your head? Yes, that's when he has dinner.
He probably has dinner at like 3:30 and then prepares for bed.
I've got a
after
lot
that.
of questions right now, but let's not celebrate right now what time he goes to bed. Dick Cody's on the line. Uncle Dick
one.
Cody.
Yeah, hold
We've got
one.
the exclusive.
Very nice.
We've got the exclusive interview with Dick Cody. Are you on the course right now, Dick? Are you calling us from the site?
Oh, no, I'm home now.
Okay, you are.
He doesn't have a cell phone.
Okay, but this is is this the first interview you're doing on this subject?
On the golf? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow,
all right. We're
nice.
getting the
Thank you,
exclusive.
Dick. Yeah.
McAfee got him earlier.
Uh,
I was hoping my podcast would get him, but no.
No, we got the exclusive. Dick, take us through it. Give us some play-by-play of what it is that just happened.
Number 17, Sebastian Golf Course, par 3, about 145 yards. I hit I believe it was a 5-wood, and because it was a little uphill, it plays a little longer than 145 yards.
Right.
And I saw it hit in the middle of the green and take a bounce, and I actually thought it bounced off the back of the green. So I'm walking up there, and I'm looking all around the back of the green.
The worst kind of hole in one.
You didn't go to the cup?
And the guy I was playing with, Ron, he found it in the cup.
Are you sure it was your ball and not just
He didn't even discover his own hole in one.
He was playing a white ball, I was playing a yellow ball, so it was mine.
Okay,
All
but
right.
you're sure someone hadn't left it there from before, maybe a previous
Well,
yellow
I don't
ball?
I don't know.
But is it possible that your shot is in a nearby lake?
That's always a possibility.
Right?
So maybe it
All right,
wasn't your first hole in one.
maybe
I guess.
okay, maybe it wasn't. It wasn't.
Well, in this case, I was as surprised as anybody.
All right, very good.
Congrats.
How have you celebrated? Did you drink a beer? Did you point?
Yeah, we always go in for a beer after. This was number 17, so I was ready for a beer after that, So
Right.
we went in and had a beer, and luckily there was a breakfast crowd there, so I didn't have to buy a round or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Spoken like a true Cody.
And he's getting ready for
And
dinner.
I also saved a little money by not having to celebrate with anybody, and then I just went home.
That's right.
Hopefully Ron bought your beer for you.
Yeah. Heard somebody mention 3:30 bedtime. That's a little early.
Well, tell us. They told us you go to bed at 5 p.m. every night. It made me wonder, when are you having dinner, and can dinner just be called lunch?
Well, I don't know. What time does it get dark? 5:30?
Yeah.
When do you go to sleep?
Pardon me?
When do you go to sleep?
Oh, I'll toss and turn for 2 hours before I go to sleep. Probably because I'm going to bed so early.
That's terrible.
Why don't you just go to sleep at
You know what?
7:30
You
then,
know what?
Dick?
I don't want to talk
You
about
should
this
get a
anymore.
weighted blanket, Dick.
Let's send Uncle Dick a weighted blanket. What time is dinner, Dick?
Probably about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Terrible.
Well, you were thinking it was earlier than that?
Oh, I have no
yeah,
idea.
I mean-
I was just marveling at going to bed at 5 p.m. I was just.
Shouldn't eat so close to bedtime.
What time do you wake up? What time do you wake up?
I usually wake up 3:30, 4 a.m. That's why, because I go to bed early,
Have you thought about maybe pushing it back a little, then you'll sleep a little later?
Well, I've thought about that. I do that when I come to visit y'all.
He lives crazy. He'll stay up till like 9:30.
Woo!
Oh, yeah,
And then
9:30,
start
10
whistling.
o'clock.
And then start whistling when people are watching television. Why do you do that, Dick?
What's that?
Whistle while people are watching television.
I do? I didn't realize that. Maybe subconsciously.
He said it, not me.
Your whole family notices it, Dick.
Why are you guys?
Christopher said it, not me.
We've never said it to him before. Thank you, Dan.
What do you mean?
Well, we all have little quirks. My brother claims he never cleans his ears, so.
That's correct.
Nice deflection right there. My dad admitted on this week's Greg Cote show that he never cleans his ears.
Oh my God.
I'm anti-Q-tip.
A Q-tip has never entered that orifice.
That's correct.
All right, let's end
enter any.
the segment on that note.
All right, congrats, brother.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple of weeks
All right.
or less.
All right.
All right. Way to go, Dick.
Take care. Thank you.
All of the lines we are about to give you on these football games are courtesy of DraftKings. Billy was just in here moments ago, and as part of Deathcember. He came in and he was very sternly telling us a whole bunch of people have to select punishments. I think we should do it right now, Billy. I think before we get to Greg Cote and the Reaper, I think we should do on air what we've been doing off air. And I hesitate to do this because it's going to be sloppy and messy, But we have to start selecting some punishments because it is time to start paying some of these.
I'd like to add a new punishment. Greg Cote cleaning out his ears. That would be a great punishment. I mean, they need cleaning.
I think you need to be careful, though, as well. You don't want to harm Greg Cote. That's particularly disgusting. But what are some of the things, Billy, that are on here before we get to Greg going to the bucket of death? I think we need to start picking some of these punishments because the list is long of things that are owed. I owe like 3 or 4.
I have a proposal. Why don't we do as the post game, us selecting these punishments? Because we have weeks and weeks. So this might take some time. This may be like a 20, 30-minute situation of us kind of going back and forth, picking punishments. And by the way, a punishment will be paid off today. After the show, I have to do the Slimer, I think it was called, where I have to get slimed by Nickelodeon Slime. And that was from like 3 years ago. So
okay.
And Greg's supposed to be dressed as Jeff Bezos today, and his costume's across the hall, so I don't know why he didn't do that.
Next week for Bezos.
Why didn't you do it today as part of Deathcember?
Deathcember. I haven't tried it on yet. I don't know if it fits.
But
that's the only one you're gonna get. There's not multiple space outfits here.
But why didn't you already? Okay, never mind.
I did not procure the outfit until today.
Okay, we'll do it.
And he was busy writing holiday songs.
Thank you,
There
Stugotz.
is plenty. Sorry,
Flying up the
Things
Billboard
will be
charts,
sorted out
that's
in the
all.
post game.
Okay, this is what we will do then. Let's flip the order of this. We will get in a second. We will go to the Reaper and Greg Cote and put that in the post game. Before we do that, Billy, you were not happy. Turn that music off, Mike. You were not happy with the useless sound montage. You were unhappy because what happened? Was it a tough week for useless sound?
It was, not my favorite week, I would say. It was a week. It wasn't my favorite week of all the weeks. It got through it, you know?
Okay, that's a hell of a sales job you just gave the audience on why we should listen to this. We feel obligated to do it because you guys, Billy was not happy with it this week. There was not a lot of great sound, but because it's a very popular segment, here it is, the useless sound montage given by a totally underwhelmed Billy uselessly selling his thing very poorly.
Okay, another fun night. You know, that team that played in the first half for us was pretty darn good, and I think could probably beat anybody. The team that played in the second half probably could get beat by anybody.
Tale of two halves. We're not good in that area. We were JV again tonight, and I'm talking about up front on both sides. We got to be better than we were. We'll turn over every stone to do that. We got a long week coming up between this and our next one. We'll make good use of that time and assess not only what we're doing, but who we're doing it with.
Congratulations to the fans, first of all, for doing what they do and doing it so well.
I've told our players, that's interesting. It's not important. What's important is our preparation, getting ready to play on Sunday.
We're all professional coaches and players, and I think we're all being evaluated by our performance on the field and our actions off the field. So, number one job of pro players is to protect this job.
What someone's brother said or someone said that will occupy very little of my time. And if there is a source, that source is unemployed. I mean, within seconds.
All I can control is who I am, how I treat people, the way I respond, and then just being as prepared as I can and going and trying to play the best I can.
You can't allow your mind to get distracted by other things.
There's a lot of things I'm thinking, but I try my best, stay positive. It sucks, but that's what other choice do I have? Go in the hole and just be depressed with everybody.
This business isn't for soft souls. It's a National Football League. Every win's hard.
Baker, if you guys have sat up there and said, it doesn't matter how it looks, just about winning at this point in the season. That's how do you view it?
Yeah, the point is to win a football game. If you have more points than the other team, you've accomplished your goal.
I have so much confidence in our players to be able to go out there and execute. I just want to make sure we got the right call for them.
Every play has a chance of scoring a touchdown. It's just how you execute the play.
We executed the plays that we needed to execute.
We came up short. They made one more play than we did, but I love how the team fought.
And anytime you can score a significant amount of points, it just helps everything.
I think anytime you're able to have big plays, then it's going to help offensively.
Well, what's important is the next moment, and just staying focused on the next opportunity, the next play. The next play is the most important one. The next game is the most important one. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, it's 1 week at a time for us, and Coach Staley did a great job of emphasizing that all week.
These kind of games will bring out the best and worst in all of us, and it'll be easy to see which one comes out.
You kind of have to just flush this one immediately and move on to the next week.
We need to look at ourselves as coaches, and they need to look at themselves as players.
Tyler showed a lot of grit. Felt like the whole team did that.
Do you have any flashbacks to last year's game?
I don't remember last year. I have a bad memory.
I don't think there'll be any records left when he's done.
The Ripping Drew, they get the peppermint chip
milkshake, I get the cookies and cream, and then I think that's probably what it is. You know, the times that we've gotten the milkshakes, we've had some success in the red zone, third down, so maybe that's what it is.
Mike, I need some control in this room, okay? Because for 2 weeks now, every time the Reaper comes in here, he's feuding with Cote and he's hitting him with his sickle, and Cote continues to grab and swipe like an enraged father at the sickle without ever getting to touch it. The Reaper's too fast. The Reaper is laughing. The Reaper is bothering me and disrupting the show. And last week, Greg Cote snapped the Reaper's sickle. Someone's going to get hurt.
You're going to get hurt.
I think Dan might.
Yes.
And we have a very dangerous bucket of death segment.
Give me the bucket.
To get to here.
Did you notice Fangs during the montage realizing the value of scoring points?
Was that Fangs that said if anytime you score a substantive amount of points, it makes everything easier?
He's right.
He is right. Was that Fangs, Billy, or was that someone else?
That's Fangs.
He's never scored that many points.
He's so right. He was so happy.
Oh no.
I'm serious.
I told you he broke another one.
I want a different Reaper. I don't know who this is. I don't know who it is. I want a different Reaper.
You're requesting? You're demanding.
Yes.
Yes. He's mad.
I am genuinely mad. I don't want this. I don't want this. It's like ridiculous. Am I doing the bucket or am I not?
The Reaper just muttered, Chad, genuinely mad. He's Chad. We'll get everyone under control and we will.
Rummaging.
Think big, Pete.
All that for the Lions. For the love of God.
They are a 2-touchdown underdog at home against the Cardinals. It's the worst thing.
You want to think about this. The Cardinals didn't look very good last
night. Will you
night.
guys stop fighting, please, Reaper?
If I pick the Lions again, I'm retiring from life.
Oh, my God.
Pittsburgh.
All right.
That's usually good, not always. Oh, that's
got the Titans.
Game.
Steelers are a 2-point underdog at home against Tennessee. You don't get any choices there. That's
an upgrade, a major upgrade.
I'll ride with Big Ben.
Please stop fighting with the Reaper.
He's fighting with me. I'm a peace and love.
Judgment Day.
Oh, it's here. Now payment will. All right, punishments will be. Yes, this is very exciting. The commissioner is here. He's demonic. He is confident. He is not his normal meek self. Make things happen. Met out punishment.
Gentlemen, everyone has been skating for far too long this season. We have punishments that need to be selected and paid off as soon as possible. Deathcember.
Need some water?
We're going to go and we're now going to select all these punishments. We have 31 punishments that need to be selected. It is embarrassing to the legacy of the grid of death.
That's
bucket
so
of death.
embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
It is.
And we have 33 punishments to choose from. So there will be 2 extra punishments. And that's what we're going to do. We have to go back all the way to week 6. Week 6, Greg, Whitty, Tony, and Mike lost. And one of them needs to select Do You Know Who I Am? Because that's the last remaining one from the previous grid. Does anyone want to be a trooper and select that? Do you know who I am? You need to dress up as a celebrity or character and walk around South Beach until someone identifies who you're supposed to be.
I think Whitty should do that one.
Okay,
I
Whitty's
agree.
not here to argue that. So
Yeah.
Whitty,
Yep.
it is.
Whitty. Seems like a Whitty.
Did Whitty lose that week?
Whitty
Yes,
has
he did.
that one.
All right,
Yep,
good.
Whitty got that one selected. Perfect. All right, so now we have Greg, Tony, and Mike. Greg, Tony, and Mike, you have the punishments. You get to select which of these punishments you would like. Please, no fighting. Just pick one. Greg, Greg, you go first. Pick one that you want.
Greg, you've had an awful season,
Yeah.
man. Jeez.
How many losses does Greg Cote have?
He's got to select 4.
Okay, so is he just going to pick them one after another?
Greg has to select 6 today.
Oh
so
my God!
Greg
Shit.
should have quite
Are
the
you
day.
kidding me? Is this,
How many do I have to
Is this
select?
post-game show going to be an hour?
It's going to be long. Mike, you only have 2, I believe.
What do I have, Billy?
Let's just pick, and then
All
we
right,
can go over.
let's do this. Greg, are you going to pick? We've got a list.
Yeah,
well,
pick
first,
one.
Yeah,
in order to help,
first.
in order to help the listener, Billy, can you give and Greg, because he's looking at this list for the first time, can you give him some of his options and just have him pick one of them, please?
Okay, Greg, would you like to do the comedy calamity where all you have to do is get pied in the face? It's very simple.
Ooh.
Give him some other choices.
You could do the casting call where you record it and submit a video to a talent contest like America's Got Talent.
Can I just pick my own or no?
Yeah, you can pick your own on this list.
Okay.
But the list is 30 long, and we're doing, again, because Greg can be self-involved, what he will do now is talk and think for 30 minutes without thinking of the audience before picking.
Why don't I give you guys another one? Here's an example. Deathcember is one that hopefully we'll do next week, because if not, it won't make sense. Deathcember, 4 people select Deathcember. In Deathcember, 4 people who choose this will have to dress as a Johnny Depp character of their choice. They will then move on to the Johnny Depp pageant, where they do their best Johnny Depp thing.
I will do one of those. I will do one of those.
It's not your turn yet. You haven't lost.
Greg's got
I'll do one.
Greg, pick
This
one.
isn't an auction.
Okay, I am prepared to pick all 6.
No, you're picking one right now. Pick one.
Just one. 1 week at a time.
What you think is the
Greg.
easiest
All
one?
right,
Go.
I picked the Walter.
Okay, Greg has to dress as Walter Mercado.
Oh
my God.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, who picked 6?
Mike, you can go. You lost. You want Deathcember?
No, I will get pied in the face.
Nice. Good choice. Good choice, Mike. Tony?
I'm going to take the Drip Bayless.
Wow. So you have to dress as Skip Bayless and recreate one of his photo shoots.
All right. Greg's up again.
All right, Greg, your turn. Ball's in your court. Remember, Deathcember's there. Bye 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 is there, where 5 people have to dress as in sync in the song Bye Bye Bye. They're going to have strings attached to their arms.
I'm going to stick my hand in a jar of mayonnaise for an entire show.
Nice. Nice.
Oh,
I like that.
All right.
Chris Cody's up, I believe.
Unpleasant.
Chris, you can go now here, yeah?
I'll go with the Ricky Henderson. I'll refer to myself in the third person for an entire show.
Wow.
How close are we to getting Chris Cody sponsored so that somebody can just buy all your words?
Yeah. We're in the works. Now Witty's up, and we could, he's
Wiki
on the clock,
Fawcett
so. I feel like...
Total non sequitur, too. It's just...
Nothing to do.
You know what I think Witty would like?
Dress like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
The nice, yeah, the nice.
I was thinking that too. All right,
Yeah.
so Witty's gonna have to dress as
Are
Tekashi
you guys really going to do this to poor Chris Whittingham?
Yes.
This is
yeah.
What'd you get, Witty?
He has to dress as Tekashi 6ix9ine.
This seems like a human resources violation.
No,
He can take it up with the commissioner.
The sound play that got locked in.
All right. Billy's up, I think. All right.
Yeah, I am going to do. Wow.
You're the one that's going to think about
Oh, this is going to take forever.
Yeah, well, I was going to do the pie in the face. I didn't think someone would take it so quickly.
Right.
Damn.
I'm going to dress as John Skipper for a show. Skip to my lube.
Wow, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Cody's up again.
Greg?
All right.
Terrible year.
I'm going to do the junior executive.
What is that?
Come to work.
That's a weak one.
Come to work for a week in a suit and tie.
I mean, he needs to do
five consecutive.
Five consecutive
No.
weeks. You have to do it. It's
This
a
is
week.
where we
It's a
always
week.
run into this.
Tuesday is my week.
No, that's you'd have to do 5 Tuesdays.
5 shows.
No,
That's what the
I
punishment
can't do
is.
that.
5
All right,
suit
I don't want
ties.
that one.
Why not?
I don't want that one.
Can't
Then
do that.
All right.
I will.
You can't just wear the same suit 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah, the gag would run dry.
Yeah.
It's got to be one
There's
week
no way
only.
he has more than 2 suits anyway.
I own a lot of suits.
I don't believe
Most
that.
of them lawsuits.
Oh no.
Okay,
God.
I'm gonna
Hit
choose.
the sound.
I'm gonna choose my hands are tied.
All right, so Greg has to have his hands tied for an entire episode.
You all right? Who's up? Chris is up. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
I'll do the Jackson Mahomes.
Wow.
I'll learn 3 TikTok dances.
Excellent.
All
I'm
right,
up.
next is Stugotz.
Deathcember.
Deathcember, wow. All right,
Okay.
next on the list, you know what, Stugotz?
What? Do it.
I'll join you in Deathcember.
Attaboy. Woody's up again.
I think that Witty's also going to be joining us in Deathcember.
I think Dan might as well.
Dan?
Dan wanted in on that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Oh man,
come on.
Deathcember is done.
I'm excited for the Deb
Deathcember's
pageant.
closed.
At the end.
Greg's up again.
Again, I'm up.
Competitive nature is going to take over. One of you is going to want to be really good at
Well,
this.
okay.
I know.
And I'm beginning to think it's Valerie.
I didn't tell you what the prize of.
Dan
the prize
Wood,
was.
scissor hands.
You know what the prize of Deathcember is?
Damn.
One of your punishments canceled.
Whoa! I love that.
Wait, the
Oh,
winner
gotta go
of
all out.
Deathcember? Wow, that is
This is a
major.
brilliant. This is brilliant.
Oh my god.
This is brilliant. Look at how happy
Oh,
Mike
it's
Ryan
fantastic.
is.
Wait, so
gonna
it's
be
me, Billy, Woody, and Dan?
It's going to be a Tim Burton fever dream. Oh, I'm excited about this.
I can't believe Greg's up again.
I'm up again.
How many do you have to do? It's
I don't know.
unbelievable.
We're in
Six
week 9.
is crazy.
Closing out week 9.
They're all against me. I'm going to do the Steve Harvey.
Wow.
I love that.
So
This
Greg
is
has to recreate Steve Harvey's Green Goblin
That's
look
such.
that he
It's a
had.
green suit. It could have been
Yeah.
one of your suit days.
Damn right.
You could have merged 5 suit days with
Right.
a Steve Harvey wearing the Green Goblin outfit.
All right, Roy.
Where's he going to even get that?
No,
Where's he
he'll
going to
He'll
get a
be.
green suit?
He'll do.
Definitely Hildy.
Right. I ain't paying for it, I'll tell you that.
No.
We know, Greg.
Is there any room? Is there any more room for Deathcember? Because I
No,
want
there's
to do that.
not.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Bye is wide open if you want.
No. Ah, damn it. Drip Bayless.
take
That's been
it.
taken.
Taken.
Sorry.
Damn
Wow.
it. Ah.
There's
Oh, it's
one
getting.
that's
Now we're getting into
really
the deep end
easy
of the
out
Yeah,
pool.
we're
there.
getting to the deep end of the pool.
This
now.
is
an
some of the
easy
bad
one out there.
punishments. There's an easy one still there. Which one are
No,
you saying?
none. I didn't say that. Roy, you could do award season where you have to dress as either an Oscar, an Emmy, and
Roy,
Nickelodeon
let's
Kids
go.
Choice Award,
Let's
or a
go.
VMA.
I'll go with Oscar, I guess.
All
Yeah,
right,
the
so
award
Roy's
season.
the Oscar. So there's 3 awards out there still for people to dress as, and that will be done on the same day.
Okay, so 3 awards other than the Oscar.
Yeah,
You've
an
got,
Emmy, a Nickelodeon Kids Choice Award, or a VMA. Dan? Well, you're
well,
not picking
I don't
this
have
week.
any more. I
Woody,
don't.
yeah.
Oh, Whitty's turn again.
Woody, Mike, then me.
You guys are going to give Woody another hard one. You guys are going to give. That's not right. I don't think it's right as commissioner that you're bullying.
LaMelo? I thought he wanted to be a
Woody
Kids
this
Choice
way.
Award. The big orange blimp? Yeah, I think Woody wants to be a Kids Choice Award. All right, Mike, your turn.
All right, so I will do. How many in sync?
0 have been chosen thus far.
So, the Cain and Abel interest me. I will do the in sync. That one seems easy
Wow.
enough.
Good choice,
All right,
Mike.
Mike is
Yeah.
going to be one of the NSYNC members.
So by Mike choosing it, it needs to be other shipping container people because don't you have to be attached by strings the entire show?
Well, not to
It'd
each
be tough
other.
for
You have
Mike.
to be attached to the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
Obviously.
My bad. Yeah, that makes sense.
Stugotz, you want to be a member of NSYNC for a day?
No, I don't. Is Junior Executive still there?
It is still there. You have to dress in a suit and tie for a week.
Oh. That or sending a video in to America's Got Talent.
Wow.
Take your time, whatever you do.
Yeah.
I am, thanks. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna wear a suit for a week.
Wow.
Oh, good for
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Very
I
surprised.
wear a hat still or no? Yeah.
Has to be a fedora.
Yeah. Greg, back to you, friend.
All right. I have no idea what this means, but I'm going to recreate LaMelo Ball's opening night outfit.
Perfect.
Bright yellow suit.
That's right. Good.
Perfect.
Good job, Greg.
I own a yellow suit.
It was
so
lime,
that's
lime
great.
green.
All right,
Funny is
Tony.
he picked 2 suit ones.
Yeah,
But
he's
won't
gonna
do
end
it
up
for a
in-
week.
It's just turned yellow because it's been sitting there for so long.
That's right. Exactly.
All right, Tony, your turn.
Where are we?
Okay, let's look around.
There's more?
I will commit to doing half of the Cain and Abel if somebody else is in.
Well, someone else has to be in. It's a 2-person.
All right,
Takes
Cain
2
and
to
Abel.
tango.
Cain and Abel.
So he's got to
Do you
dress as
choose
either.
Cain or Abel? Do you have a preference?
The
Cain and Abel is a
seem like an
two-person
Abel.
punishment where one person must dress as WWE superstar Kane and the other person must dress as The Weeknd at the 2020 AMAs. So
I'll
your
do
face
I'll
will be
do the
bandaged.
Abel. I'll do the Abel.
Wow, okay. All right. Chris.
Is You Made Your Bed, Now Lie in It still available?
It is still available.
Oh, I feel like that one fits me.
That one is great. So Chris has to do an entire show laying in the bed upstairs.
That's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
I would have taken
no
that.
one choose
Still there.
that.
I would have taken that so long
That's
ago.
good when I was telling you it was still there, yeah.
I want to trade for that one.
No, you can't.
I
Chris,
can't do it.
back to you.
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
I guess
Kane,
I
come on,
guess
jump in with me,
I'll
Kane.
do, nah,
Do it.
No, I don't want to.
Come
I
on.
don't want to paint. Yeah,
You're
I'm gonna do
already a big
instinct.
red machine.
Nah, I don't want to paint my
Chris.
face.
Ah.
I'll do it in sync.
Kane doesn't paint
It's a
his
mask.
face. He
I
wears
thought
a
that-
mask.
He wears a mask.
Well, he selected in sync already. Stugotz?
I'm up again.
Yeah.
What week is this?
This is week 12.
I'll do the. I'll submit a video of a talent to America's Got Talent.
What?
Incredible.
Casting call. The casting call. Yeah.
That had Chris Cody written all over it. I can't believe that it didn't get to him.
Chris, I'll trade with you. I'll take the bed.
Nah, that's good.
Okay.
I'm good. Happy with my choice.
All right.
All right, Greg. Well, Dan stepped out. So, Greg,
All right, this is my last one, right?
this is your last one.
Okay,
yeah.
I will recreate a Met Gala outfit.
Wow.
Excellent choice, Greg.
But he didn't want to wear a suit.
Probably another.
I didn't want to wear a suit for a whole week.
You're gonna wear a suit for 4 weeks now.
Unreal.
We're going to pick that Met Gala outfit for you. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know that you'll be thanking us after we pick it. Roy?
Did anybody pick Skip to Malou?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
I
gone.
don't know. No, I'm not here. Like everybody's taking my choices. What do we have
Well,
left,
it's our
man?
choices, really.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
You could be Kane. You could be
Ooh, yeah,
one
be
of the
Kane,
awards, Roy. You can be an NSYNC member. How about this one? I want to be where the people are. You dress as the Little Mermaid for a photo shoot on South Beach.
I will choose another award.
The junior executive. Oh, Stugotz did that one.
I will choose another award. Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award.
Wow,
And
Witty
Emmy.
has that. Witty's that, but if you want, you can have that, and we'll just
give Woody the Emmy.
We'll give him
Yes,
something.
yes.
All right, so Witty will be an Emmy now.
Yeah.
All right. Now is Jessica's turn. She's not here. We can skip. Stugotz.
Again? What week
No,
is
she doesn't
this?
get skipped. Hold on, she doesn't
Why
get
does
skipped.
she get skipped and
Well,
not Witty?
She can bounce on a mini trampoline.
All right, how about this?
Mini trampoline for
Yeah,
Jess.
mini
Kinda
trampoline.
wanted that one.
Yeah, she did
Yeah,
mention
she
that.
brought it
Okay,
up.
Yeah, she brought it up. Okay, she can be. All right. Stugotz, back to you.
What week is this?
This is week 14. We're all caught up. We just have 2 Dan outstanding ones.
All right. What's left here?
Yeah, look at us.
We have NSYNC. We have I Want to Be Where the People Are. We dress as the Little Mermaid for a photo shoot.
Has anyone else chosen the NSYNC? I know it's 5 people, but has anyone else?
We have 2
Somebody
selections,
did.
Mike and Chris right now.
Okay.
You want to do the Little Mermaid? That one's easy.
Is Tie Your Hands for the entire show still available?
That one's
Yeah,
gone.
I got that.
Taken.
You could also dress as Kane the wrestler.
I'm gonna
Little Mermaid's easy.
no, I'm going in sync.
Okay. All right.
What did I say?
That doesn't matter.
That was then, this is now. I mean,
All right, now we're all caught up. We have
Different
2
time.
Dan ones, and we're good.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
God, I hope Dan's Kane.
He has to be, right?
Yeah.
Should we just give him Kane?
That's great.
Dan's
Yes.
Kane.